with a relief appearance, it goes to 3.42. Here's Marco Scudero. So he digs in. Chad Godin is ready as well. And we're ready for baseball here in the Bronx. And let's do it at Yankee Stadium. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it away, and we are underway.
Well, I think you said it perfectly. Chad Godin has done a nice job as a New York Yankee. I was able to work the first game that he came in as a reliever, and the slider was not very good in that ball game, but since then been a lot better. Been a nice piece.
His last start against Tampa, 6 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts.
That one's lined down the left field line and foul.
Take a look at a scouting report on Marco Scudero. He is having a career year. We talked last night, playing every day at shortstop, having a big year. And he needs one more run for the 100 mark, the century mark for the year. Runs scored. And he cashed in. He had an incentive-laden contract, 475 plate appearances, and he's well past that.
High fly ball, right center. Melky Cabrera will make the play in front of Nick Swisher for the first out. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. A chill in the air tonight. 65 degrees, humidity 64%. Wind is 12 miles per hour blowing straight in, and there's a slight chance of rain.
Fall is in the air tonight. September baseball, Northeast. Feels good.
Swing and a miss by Hill.
Just 32 home runs. Much more power, I think, than anybody anticipated. He's a great player, #1 draft pick out of LSU a few years ago, and all-star. The power numbers for second baseman, he's had a phenomenal year.
He had a Blue Jay record for doubles last year.
And a strike from Godin, 1 and 2.
47, so maybe those doubles have turned. That was actually a few years ago. Those doubles have turned into home runs. You're right, tough to expect that kind of power from a second baseman. I'm sure he had a little ice on his back last night. Took a fastball from Mark Melanson right between the numbers.
Line drive, cut by A-Rod. 2 away.
Take a look at Alex Rodriguez playing third base. It's a reaction position, going to his right, making a nice play. Aaron Hill's been hitting the ball hard all year. Nice reactions from the Yankee third baseman. It looked like a slider and kind of a hanger. Hot corner.
That is why.
Here's Adam Lind. And there's a strike. Tied for first in the American League for extra base hits with Mark Teixeira. Both of them have 76. 30 of those extra base hits, home runs for Lind. Try to find silver linings in a season, and the Blue Jays' silver linings are that Aaron Hill and Adam Lind are going to be in the middle of their lineup for a long time. Cito Gaston said they'll both bat 3-4. Hill third, Lind cleanup next year. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Godin works from the first base side of the rubber and deals outside. Started September 8th against Tampa Bay, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He did it in 76 pitches, so an impressive performance. And the 3-1 from Godin. Strike to Lind, and the count is full.
Yeah, that start was his longest as a Yankee. He hasn't been here very much outside his 4th start of the year, but what we've seen from him early on in these starts, he'll throw 3 good innings, and then all of a sudden maybe fatigue sets in. Has a trouble around that 60 pitch mark. We'll see how it goes tonight.
He strikes him out. Impressive first inning for Chad Godin. As the Blue Jays go down in order, 1, 2, 3. And they go down in order with a little help from Alex Rodriguez. Aaron Hill hit a blistering line drive to third. And A-Rod speared it on the backhand. Blue Jays nothing, and the Yankees coming to bat. Godin. Now Brian Talent will take his chance against the Yankees starting lineup presented by our good friends at BMW. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second and playing left is Jerry Hairston Jr. Mark Teixeira's at first base. He'll hit third. Cleaning up the third baseman, Alex Rodriguez. The number 5 hitter, DH Hideki Matsui. Nick Swisher, a hot September. He'll be in right field batting 6. Batting 7th, playing second base, Robinson Cano. Melky Cabrera in center field will hit 8th. And batting 9th and catching, Jose Molina.
On the mound for the Blue Jays, Brian Talent, 31-year-old, 7-9, the 5.26 ERA, rather high. Too many hits per innings, and the 69 walks, 145 innings is okay. Let's take a look at the pitcher scatter report. Downward plate, he's 6'6", and he really gets a good downward plane. Top half of the ball is hard for the hitters to hit at times. Good early. It allowed only 1 run during the first inning of his last 12 starts. His career first inning ERA is 2.25. And versatile. Last year, 51 games out of the pen. This year, he's made 22 starts, 34 appearances overall. It's good to have a guy like that who can both relieve and start.
So Derek Jeter digs in against the left-handed Talent. And the pitch is inside, 1-0.
Sure, Kevin Long went over the scouting report with the New York Yankees, and part of that report is probably don't look at the facial hair, you're going to get distracted. It's a different look for Brian Talent.
So you go like,
what is that, the old lamb chops he's got going?
Yeah, chops.
Mutton chops.
Mutton chops.
Left-handers.
Yeah, lefty. He's left-handed.
And the 3-0 to Jeter. Lays it in there for a strike. And Jeter works a walk. So the Yankees have the leadoff runner on here in the first. Take a look at the defense behind Talent for the Blue Jays tonight. Snyder's in left, Wells in center, and Bautista is over and right. In the infield, Encarnacion, Scudero, Hill, and Overbay third and first. Barajas behind the plate. And Talent is on the mound. It's the 5th time this year that Talent has walked the first batter that he faces. Not a good way to start a game, especially against a potent Yankee offense. Johnny Damon has a night off against the left-hander, so Jerry Hairston Jr. bats second and plays left.
Kind of strange. Johnny Damon had good numbers against Talent. 348 with a home run against the lefty. He gets a night off.
Those are his stats with the Reds and the Yankees. Foul back. Check out the umpires tonight. Greg Gibson's behind the plate. Bill Miller is at first. Darrell Cousins at second. And Jim Joyce is the third base umpire. Jim was the home plate umpire yesterday, right in the middle of everything.
Good to see Darrell Cousins back out there. He had to leave the game after that brawl last night. That's right. I don't know exactly what happened to him, but good to see him back to work tonight. You know, Michael, I talked last night about Jim Joyce, a home plate umpire. I thought he was a perfect umpire for that situation last night. Gave out the warnings, tried to settle everything. Obviously, we had some issues at the end of that game. Jim Joyce did a good job trying to stop it, issuing the warnings. Didn't work out.
And as you mentioned, Jim Joyce, longtime veteran, and John is exactly right. This guy, there are umpires that have a viewpoint of being like the superior boss, and while certainly Jim Joyce is a veteran guy, he allows the play and understands the game, and I agree. I think how he handled it was excellent. I mean, he didn't allow it to get any worse than it already was. Sometimes there's umpires that actually fuel emotions and the fire, or just the circumstance, whether it's throwing a batter out or a manager.
That one is looped into right center field, and that is going to be caught by Bautista. Nice play.
Nice running catch by Bautista. We saw he had a strong arm last night. Threw Alex Rodriguez out at home plate, covering a lot of ground in right field on the run. And we saw the strong arm last night, and we see some range from the Toronto Blue Jays right fielder early on tonight.
Hey, he's done a nice job out there. In his career, he's been primarily an infielder. Now, as you get a little older, they try to find a spot to keep your bat in the lineup. And boy, he's shown a strong arm, as John said, and nice range. This is good for Bautista and his future. Utility man.
Here's Mark Teixeira. Driven deep to center field, going back as well as it's over his head. One hop up against the wall. Jeter rounds third. They're waving him home. He'll score. It's an RBI double for Teixeira, and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Teixeira's 40th double, jumps on this fastball right away. But most impressive here, aside from what Teixeira just did, was Derek Jeter. Watch Derek Jeter first base here. Immediately, he had the best angle to know that Vernon Wells had no shot at that. Because of that jump from first base, he was able to score. Watch this here. He's got a great angle to see that Vernon Wells can't catch that. Busted all the way through. Bobby Thompson, third base coach, waving him all the way. Nice base running. Shot from Teixeira, middle of the plate, just jumping on a Brian Talent fastball. Getting Karen, Vernon Wells. Nice play all the way around.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. 1-0. '40th double of the year, 77th extra base hit, and that leaves the American League.
You would expect this to be a good matchup for Alex Rodriguez, a lefty who doesn't throw overly hard, but he's got bad numbers against Talent coming in. 0-67, 1 for 15. That one hit was a home run, but you see the last 22 games, Alex Rodriguez on fire.
Popped up. Overbay. Wynn took that one. He stayed with it to make the play.
Play by Overbay, just staying with it. Got a lot of wind here tonight at the stadium. Swirling around. Nice job keeping his concentration. I mean, you watch Talent throw. He doesn't light up the radar gun, but it seems like he's a little sneaky. I mean, he got in there on Alex Rodriguez there.
Well, with the numbers that you cited, there are certain batters or vice versa, the pitcher, that it's just not a good matchup and good feel. And with those numbers now, 16 at bats, that's enough body of work that Alex just doesn't pick up the ball well off the Talent.
You watch his delivery, Al. It's nice and smooth and easy, and as a hitter, it just lulls you to sleep. And he's got that good angle. Next thing you know, he beat you with an 89, 88 mile an hour fastball.
Strike on Matsui. Hideki 9 hits in his last 19 at bats.
Tall, 6'6", coming down pitcher's mound. It's supposed to be 10 inches, 10 or 12 inches height.
Got a nice little tuck there with the right shoulder too at the last minute. You start looking at pitchers and their delivery. Do they hide the ball? Do they show it to you early? And a nice shot there at Talent's delivery. He kind of tucks that right shoulder a little bit, gives him a little deception. So smooth mechanics, deception, the angle that Al's talking about.
Matsui's been wearing out left-handers. A lot of RBIs. There's 11 home runs versus lefties, 13 right-handers. And anytime I see that as a left-handed hitter, left-handed pitchers are not coming in effectively enough. And Matsui is so good on the outer part of the plate. He's able to hook the ball.
Count 2-2.
Unlike Alex Rodriguez, Matsui, 529, 9 for 17 with a home run. Career-wise, that's a pretty good amount of at-bats against Brian Talent.
And unusual, though, we just saw a changeup left on left, which is unusual. You don't see that very often from lefties against left-handed hitters.
Fouled off the other way.
And the reason for that, a left-handed pitcher, when he throws a changeup, normally it'd be a right-handed batter and the ball would float down and away. And the fear has been that a lefty said, well, if I miss, that's a little floater down and in, and that's a sweet spot for a left-handed batter. But because it's so unusual, left-handed hitters don't see a left-handed pitcher throw changeups. So it's very effective. I remember John Olerud said the hardest pitch for me to hit from a lefty is a changeup. You just don't see it.
The 2-2. Fouled away.
Where Matsui's so good, getting those tough pitches, fouling them off, kind of wearing down the pitcher and the catcher. So I just made my best slider, and he just fouled it off, spoiled it. Now I got to try to repeat it and do it again. Becky Matsui jumps on some mistakes.
Matsui hitting .308 with runners in scoring position. And the 2-2. Line drive, base hit to right field. Bautista fields. Rounding third and heading home is Teixeira. The throw is not in time. Matsui moves to second on the throw as the Yankees lead 2-0.
As John was saying, fighting off the pitch is the tough pitcher's pitch. The pitcher feels like, boy, where do I go now? Makes it, I wouldn't even call it a mistake. It was middle down in the zone. Bautista's showing a strong arm. Teixeira getting a great jump. Fairly accurate. Barajas trying to come back and little swipe tag right off the bat. All these runs are scored. Good secondary lead from Teixeira at second and getting a good jump.
See the throw up the line a little bit. Barajas trying to come back with a sweep tag, but again, a strong throw from Bautista. It was up the line, but he had a lot on it. Been impressed last night throwing Alex Rodriguez, and then you watch this one, a little, almost a one hopper, had a lot on it.
Here's Nick Swisher. Pitch inside. Had some homestand, 11 for 31. 3 homers and 4 runs batted in. The Yankees as a team have only had 8 home runs in 9 games on this homestand. Count 2-0. Yankees are 51 and 23 here at home. That one's driven deep to left field. Going back Snyder. He has room. The wind holds it up and puts it away for the final out of the first. But the Yankees get 2 runs. How do they do it? Jeter walked, and then Mark Teixeira hits a double over the head of Vernon Wells and makes it 1-0. Later on in the inning, Hideki Matsui is single right, and that brings home Teixeira. 2-0 Yankees. Upcoming schedule. Tomorrow's an off day for the Yankees, but they will fly out to Seattle Friday and Saturday evenings, and then Sunday at 4 o'clock. They had a big series in Anaheim against the Los Angeles Angels Monday night on Yes, Tuesday night on My 9, and then Wednesday a 3:35 getaway day game. Final West Coast trip for the Yankees. Yankees have a 2-0 lead. Vernon Wells leads off, and there's a strike. Wells, a 9-game hitting streak.
So the Yankees can have that day off tomorrow, travel out to Seattle. Be nice to get a win here and then have a nice travel day and off day. A lot of talk around town today. The Red Sox and Red Hot Ball Club starting to sneak back in this division race.
Five and a half games. That's certainly doable. 6.5.
The 5 and loss.
Yeah, that's right.
Top of the 3rd inning, Red Sox and the Angels are scoreless. I at the beginning didn't like the wild card, and I've grown to really like it because it does make it interesting right through September for a lot of teams. But because there's a wild card, that race is not as exciting as it could be. I mean, the Red Sox would have to win every single game to try to catch the Yankees, but they know they have a safety net, that being the wild card. And the one thing that I would like to see tweaked, I wonder if you guys would agree, there's got to be a negative attached to the wild card. Maybe they play 1 game at home, something like that. But there's no negative attached. There's no stigma. And a lot of teams that got in as a wild card end up winning the World Series. And there's the wild card race. The 2-2.
Marlins did in '97. Yeah, there's several teams. Well, this could be a fun conversation because there's a lot of different theory or ways of fixing it. But I agree. I think at some point baseball may consider really crediting the teams, the two top teams in each league, with a bye.
Line drive, base hit down the left field line. Vernon Wells now has a 10-game hitting streak. He also has himself a double.
Talked about Chad Godin, and his slider has been a better pitch since he became a New York Yankee. Well, he's thrown a few of them tonight, and they have not been the good ones. See, that's a hanger. It's right down the middle. Vernon Wells drills it to left field. Dave Island constantly talking to Chad Godin about staying on top of that slider, getting that good tilt down and away. He doesn't have a good feel for it early on tonight.
Yeah, and you said it, John, with the slider, any kind of breaking ball, it's kind of a cool night, too. So normally a pitcher, you want that little sweat, and I'm sure he's got it because you can get a better grip on the ball. But, you know, his slider, you got to put away slider when you're ahead, 1-2, 0-2, and then you have your behind in the count slider, which is more of a strike slider.
Line into left field, coming on Hairston, he makes the play.
Chad Godin, he's been with 6 organizations. He's been around a while. And I just like how he has kind of a, you know, here it is. You know, this is what I got. I'm coming at you. Kind of a gunslinger kind of mentality with good stuff, not great stuff. And it is a command issue. Dave Island watching closely. You know, anytime you get a guy that doesn't have the superior velocity, you know, the only thing that a great fastball does is that you can get away with mistakes earlier in the game, his first time around. But ultimately, in the end, a quality pitch is somewhere on the corner. Yeah.
One thing that Island has really worked with him a lot since he came over here is on the slider, because he felt that the slider just didn't have enough tilt. He wasn't on top of it enough, and he's been working with him a lot, and that's become an effective pitch for him.
It was a non-factor the first time he made a Yankee appearance. I mean, it was a good fastball and a split change that was effective, but the slider was underneath, really just spun. Dave Island, a lot of work on the side, a few mechanical adjustments with the hand he was talking about, and some pretty good results.
It's got to be a very gratifying feeling for a pitching coach to take something that could be fixed somewhere else and then fix it here. And that's not a knock on the other pitching coaches, but you're saying something and you're able to click with the pitcher that somebody else wasn't able to do.
Yeah, you said it, Michael. You know, a lot of there's different ways of getting your point across, and sometimes the same message just said a little bit differently just clicks.
And there's a strike.
Taking nothing away from Dave Island, obviously, but he had a lot to work with here. I mean, you mentioned he's got a good arm, but he's also been around the block. You've all the teams that he's been with, plenty of big league experience. It's not like you're working with a kid who's up in the big leagues for the first time fighting nerves and do I belong here. So Dave Island did a nice job with a lot to work with. 6 major league teams in his career. Tampa Bay, Toronto, Oakland, Chicago in the National League, San Diego and the Yankees. So you know, nerves, it's not the problem.
Which, if there's ever a place where that is paramount, it's here in New York. And certainly playing with the Yankees, Yankee Stadium. Everything is magnified to a much higher level. When Encarnacion was traded for Scott Rowland, who had a heck of a year for the Blue Jays. Scott Rowland went over to Cincinnati, ended up getting hurt. They like Encarnacion, younger player, had a lot of tools. Showed more power with Cincinnati, a better place to hit than American Park. Only 3 home runs so far with the Blue Jays. 216 hasn't gotten going, but they like what they see in this 26-year-old.
He had some left wrist problems that he's still working back from, so I think J.P. Ricciardi, the general manager of the Blue Jays, saying, you know what, if I can get him rehab from that and get him healthy come spring training next year, look for a big year.
Wells at second, one man out. 3-2. Strike three, inside corner. Encarnacion down looking.
Encarnacion's going to have a little talk with Greg Gibson. You see Molina setting up away. It ended up on the inside corner. Missed the spot, but still got the call. Borderline, looked like it was a little bit off the plate. Greg Gibson, the home plate umpire, makes the call.
Al, is that a bittersweet strikeout? You know you missed your spot, but you get the strikeout?
Yeah, you know what? And I'm glad that it looked like he did miss it by a little bit, but there's a lot of umpires, because of the presentation, they won't call a strike, even if it went over the plate, because it didn't look like a strike. Greg Gibson certainly isn't one of those umpires. He'll call it as he sees it. Meaning, Molina sets up away, catches the pitch that looks like it's inside, and because of the way he presented it, they would call a ball. A lot of umpires would do that.
Oh, no doubt. You know, and as a catcher, you understand it. I mean, it doesn't look good. Everybody in the ballpark thinks it looks like a ball. Tough to get that call. I guess you give Greg Gibson credit for sticking with it.
You know, before Questec, and they have a different system now in baseball, the Braves are big on that with their young minor league catchers, teaching them how to present a pitch and make it look like a strike. And that was when you could go 3, 4, 5, 6 inches off the plate, have it catch directly in between the center of your chest protector, and meanwhile the glove is 4 or 5 inches off the plate. That doesn't apply as much anymore because of the umpires are on the computer. And those years with the Braves with Leo Mazzoni and Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz.
That's the new system. They say it's kind of space age. It's not just the Questec system they used to use. A lot of radar and stuff like that involved. A lot of websites that take advantage of that as well. Well, Greg Gibson practically dragging Molina back. What do they say when you keep talking, John? Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, it's time to go.
And what if you don't go?
You got to have a relationship with your home plate umpire. You don't want to get on his bad side, but
your strike zone now becomes the size of a garbage can.
You know, you respect the umpire. He's got to speed the game up, but you also have a job to do. And obviously, early in the ball game with 2 outs, a runner in scoring position, not a huge situation, but want to be on the same page.
High fly ball, left center. Melky Cabrera drifts over and makes the play. It's going to be a howitzer to get it out to left center field with the wind blowing in the way it has. We've seen 2 balls held up, Swishers and then Barajas's. Wasn't even near the warning track, so the leadoff double is wasted. We go to the bottom of the second. Full season ticket pricing for regular season games at Yankee Stadium. Prices for 97% of tickets will either remain the same or decrease. New York Yankees managing general partner Hal Steinbrenner stated, and I quote, At the beginning of the season, I said that we would look into our ticket prices and review them at the end of the year to see where changes needed to be made. We've had a great opening year. Over 90% of our inventory has been sold, and we are leading Major League Baseball in attendance. This plan reflects the changes we believe are appropriate. We will continue to review the ticket policy on a year-by-year basis. A date is yet to be determined for the on-sale of 2010 season tickets. For more information, please visit Yankees.com. Robinson Cano takes a strike from Brian Talent as we start the bottom of the second inning. It'll be the bottom third of the Yankee order. They are 40 games over 500 at 93 and 53. Driven out to left field, deep. That ball getting sliced foul.
The strength of Robinson Cano looked like it just peeled off the end of his bat, went beyond the outfield fence. The year that he's having.
You look at those numbers: 23 home runs, 77 RBIs. Then you start thinking, is this what he is, or can he improve? You expect the power to improve a little bit, and I think most importantly, hitting with runners in scoring position. You know, once he becomes a little bit older, a little more mature, patient, get some at-bats under your belt, you expect those numbers to improve, and then you start thinking 90, 95, 100 RBI guy from second base.
Well, not to think that he's able to do what he did in 06, but a 342 batting average with 482 at bats. What a year he had that year. And then in 07, 306, legitimate 300 hitter. Uses the whole field. And he's right, like any major league hitter, but more so with Robinson Cano because you can get a little pull happy. He's driving that ball to left center field. Look out.
This year, Robinson a .212 hitter with runners in scoring position. But he still has 77 runs batted in, a lot of the time batting from the bottom of the order. That one's off of Talent's foot, took a base hit away from Cano. And he guns him down. That was ticketed for center field, but that cannot feel too good for Brian Talent.
Well, let's see where it gets him. And he had the presence of mind not to rush it. Sometimes you see it looked like it got him in a pretty good spot, maybe the bottom of his heel inside of his right foot. Took his time, kind of collected himself. More often than not, a pitcher will, yeah, I think he got him okay. Bottom of his left heel. Watch, he collects himself, knew he had enough time. I think he'll be all right.
He immediately waved off the Blue Jay dugout. I'm fine. That's going to bring up Melky Cabrera. Squib foul.
Melky back in center field tonight. Career high 12 home runs for the year. Brett Gardner got the start last night. Melky had a pinch hit late in the ball game.
There's a strike. Count 1-2. Melky's had a good homestand. 8 hits and 24 at bats. Hitting an even 280.
This is a side of the plate Melky's really done a better job from this year, hitting .266 against lefties. Had a hard time last year against left-handers. Did a nice job in the offseason working on that swing. It's paid off, hitting .286 against righties, .266 against lefties. Not bad.
Encarnacion. Be a tough play, but he makes
it. Melky getting fooled by a little changeup out in front. I think that may have cost him getting a single. Nice play. Encarnacion almost falling down. Then has to redirect to get something on the ball. Oh, just bang, bang. Watch him, he has to now turn his front side in, almost falling down to get enough on the baseball.
Pitchers love it. Guy ever make a great play and say thank you?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Guy ever make a bad play and you go, what are you doing?
No.
Never?
Nice guy. I don't know, thank you. Come up, give him a nice little, ready to go.
Pitcher ever come up to you, John, and go, that was, you called a great game?
Yeah, they have. You see Melky out by a half a step.
He thought he was safe.
Run through the bag.
I've had pitchers, compliment you on, hey, you did a nice job back there, way to call a game, and other guys who wouldn't even give you the time of day after a good ball game.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wrong.
So if you walked up to a pitcher, that guy, and said, what time is it? They wouldn't give you the time of day.
They wouldn't give me the time of day.
Who was rude?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Well, I'm used to that up here with you guys, especially you, Michael. But one of the guys that I remember vividly, David Wells, if he threw a good game, and now you got to remember, he would not shake off at all.
Right.
If he threw a good game, he would talk to the media and talk about what a great game he threw. If he had a poor game or made a couple of bad pitches, he would say, I don't know why I threw that curveball. I shouldn't have thrown that pitch in that situation.
Really? Interesting. As Molina goes down on strikes. We'll continue to explore this with John, and we're going to tell him exactly what time it is. That's right, it's 7:51, John. Pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios. This is Fios. This is big. A.J. Burnett will get the start in Seattle, 11-9, 4.33 against one of the best, Felix Hernandez. King Felix, 15-5 with a 2.52 ERA. Our coverage will begin at 9:30 on Yes with the pregame show, and then 10:05 will be first pitch. That should be a good game.
That's a good game to watch Felix Hernandez pitch, but also A.J. Burnett trying to get him hot at the right time of the year, see if he can get himself straightened out.
Bautista crushes one to center field. Backing up is Melky Cabrera. That ball is gone. Oh, did he hit that? A long home run for Bautista, and it is 2-1 Yankees.
He must have had that howitzer you were talking about before. You got to smoke it tonight to get it through the wind. Be his 7th home run of the year. I'll tell you what, he's impressed us in right field with his throwing arm, and he gets a fastball right down the middle. You can tell he felt good about it. The only question was, did he hit it well enough to get it through the wind? Melky Cabrera can only be a spectator. Well, it's deep.
There's Travis Snyder. Hot shot up the middle, a base hit.
Aggressive early swinging by the Blue Jays.
Let's take a look at the IOTV HD Super Shot on the swing by Bautista.
Puts his foot down, barrel out front. Ooh, that is, if it's ever on a sweet spot of a bat, that was it.
You wonder with the wind, I mean, it's howling in from left field, but you wonder if it's kind of blocked off in center, if maybe there's that jet stream effect, if wind comes in and then jets out to center field, because that ball just flew.
I think he just hit it really hard.
On the Modell scoreboard, it's 2-1 Yankees over the Jays. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the New York Yankees. I think that the scoreboard must block out the wind that way, John, because I think anything to left center, the opening in the stadium will allow the wind to take a hold of the baseball. And that's what we've seen with the Swisher driving the Encarnacion one. That one is off of Godin. Let's see if he's okay. Everybody is safe. Swisher and Barajas, pardon me. Now let's see if it's like he got him on the right arm.
Well, he turned away. Look, I thought it hit him on the back. Obviously it didn't with his throwing arm. Oh, right on the right elbow. Could get like kind of a funny bone where it just gets numb immediately if it hit the nerve. Like right on the outside part of his elbow.
Well, we've seen Sergio Mitre get hit on the elbow and come out of the game. He's going to try to throw.
Guy been around for a while. Unless it's broke, you're going to figure out a way. This is an opportunity for Chad Godin.
Funny, the guy's such a competitor, though. He just turned to Derek Jeter and said, could you have had that? Looks like he's not thinking about his arm. He's thinking about, could you have made that play for me? Should have let it go, gotten out of the way.
So he stays in, and he's in the middle of a jam. First and second, nobody out. That is a scary, scary position to play. You are closer than anybody else on the diamond in fair territory. After you deliver the ball, you're about 50 feet away from the batter. Not much time to react.
Off balance. Not every pitcher has a perfect ending like a Mike Mussina or a Greg Maddux. Square to home plate.
And a strike.
And there's plenty of ball. You throw a ball in 90 some odd miles an hour, and for sure when a ball's hit as hard as a Bautista just hit that home run, they're coming out 100 plus miles an hour.
And that one gets past Molina as the runners move up.
Molina went with the backhand trying to block this. You see he's setting up inside. It's that split changeup yanked to the outside half. A tough pitch to block for a catcher. You're anticipating which way is it going to go if it ends up in the dirt. It looked like Jose Molina thought it would go down and in. Went down and away. It'll be scored a wild pitch. Slider from a righty. You always know if he makes a mistake, it's going to be down and away in the dirt. You can predict where it's going to end up. A split or a changeup. Not so easy.
The 1-1. Pitch inside, 2-1.
Now, when you say that, because a split finger, sometimes it'll knuckle, it'll have a very unusual spin to it. When you're anticipating a split finger, what are you looking at? Is it like a goaltender?
If you call a split finger, you set up middle of the plate and you're expecting it could go anywhere between those lines, and you just got to read the baseball. If you call a slider,
that one's rolled up the third baseline, and Godin snatches it when it's fouled.
You call a slider from a right-hander like Chad Godin, you know that if he makes a mistake, it's going to be down and away to a right-handed hitter. So you can kind of anticipate that's where I'm going to go to block the ball.
And the spin and the break should be consistent to where it's running away from the right-handed batter or in on the left.
Exactly. If you throw a mistake with it down, that's where it's going to end up.
See, now if the split is his go-to out pitch here, be a little mindful of, you don't want to bounce it. It's a run score.
2-2. Oh, what a play by Godin. He took away a 2-run single. An outstanding play by Chad Godin.
Behind the back. Let's see if he actually saw it go into his glove. Turn. Oh, that's pure luck. That's great that he was able to have the mindset to put his glove out there. Robinson Cano would have gotten to that ball, but watch him. Great play. Just pure luck, instinct. Put your glove out, hope that you catch it. Check the runner at third. Big boost right there, keeping those runners second and third.
Adam Lynn fouls it away.
Well, an interesting situation here for Chad Godin. You have Lynn, the third batter. You see the numbers 30 and 101. You have first base open. Think about pitching around him a little bit. The problem, Vernon Wells on deck has been a red-hot hitter. 10-game hitting streak. Extended it tonight. Makes you think twice about pitching around the lefty.
Oh, I would. In this ballpark, especially left-hand, you make a mistake. Adam Lynn, there's only 2 other guys in baseball that have 300 batting average of 30 home runs or more. Albert Pujols and Derek Lee. He's having that kind of year.
Now, when you talk about pitching around somebody, I remember a pitching coach explained it perfectly to me. He said, just start the at-bat like it's an 0-2 count. Every pitch is 0-2.
What John is saying, an 0-2 count is a pitcher's count, obviously, and the pitcher's pitch would be that you're going to be mindful of whatever it is, your fastball, change, or slider, in the case of Godin, that you're going to be black or off the plate. Pitching off of the white.
Now 2-2.
A nice time for that split change up here. You just try to set him up with a fastball, speed his bat up a little bit. You got to trust Jose Molina, throw it down to the dirt, trust he's going to block it.
Grounded to first, bobbled there by Teixeira. As one play, he makes it at first. Scoring is Snyder, and the game is tied at 2. As Scudero moves to third.
There was that split change up, and it was down. Lynn rolls it over. Mark Teixeira coming in. You wonder if he was thinking about making a play at home. Took his eye off the ball. Kept it in front. You take the out. See the grip? It's like a change, split, sometime grip. Down with good movement.
Count 1-0 on Wells. Wells doubled to left field. That extended his hitting streak to 10 straight, and he is 18 for his last 35 and 11 for his last 19. Popped up and out of play. Now that double that he had in the second inning was his 291st career double, and it ties him with Tony Fernandez for second place on the Blue Jays all-time list. First place, Carlos Delgado. Got a ways to go. The 1-1. 2-1.
Boy, if it wasn't for injuries, Vernon Wells, who knows how his career would have gone the last couple of years. With 2003, they thought they had a 317 batting average, 33 home runs, 117 RBI. And a nice contract. It's just been one ailment after another that just hasn't been able to keep on track.
.50 pitches for Godin. Grounded, grabbed there by A-Rod. Spins, fires, got it. That's a good play by the Yankee third baseman. But the Blue Jays tied the score. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors and 1 man left. A-Rod kept it tied with that nice play right there, a 360 and a strong throw to Teixeira. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. That talk. It's time for the Toyota text poll. Tonight's question is, looking ahead to 2010, what games on next year's preliminary schedule are you most excited about? Your choices are these. Number 1, the opening closing at Fenway. Number 2, the Subway Series. Number 3, the home opener versus the Angels. Number 4, the home series against the Phillies. And number 5, the road series at the Dodgers. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Why do they have a home series against the Phillies next year? They just had one this year. Now, Brian Tallett's out of the game. You wonder if it was when he got hit on the right foot. So the Blue Jays now will go to the bullpen, and they'll try to get 7 innings out of the pen. It's a 2-2 game, so whichever pitcher comes in is going to have as much time as he needs. And maybe this is the injury that did it. The Robinson Cano comebacker got him on the right foot. Maybe it started to stiffen up while sitting on the bench. We'll talk about it when we get back. On your PC or laptop, if you're a Verizon Fios TV customer with Fios Internet who watches Yes, log on to YesNetwork.com, Yankees.com, or Verizon.net/Yes to get more information and sign up for your subscription now. Well, because of an injury, Cito Gaston has to make the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. Your world delivered, and the call to the bullpen brings in Sean Camp. and he'll have as much time as he needs to warm up. Those are the numbers for camp.
Well, luckily for the Blue Jays, it's September call-up time. There's plenty of arms to go around. Decent ERA. The 1-6 record isn't very good. Of his 51 appearances, only 16 of them he's pitched more than 2 innings. So I can't imagine his appearance being too long tonight.
You know, sometimes, John, I don't know if you realize it, but we can learn. Everybody can learn something from our open. And Al Leiter broke new ground when we opened the show today. And if you look at John's face and my face, this is what Al said when talking about the fight in yesterday's game. This is from our open of the show today as Sean Camp warms up. Take a listen. It's brilliant.
People have to understand this isn't checkers. There's a lot of emotion.
It's not checkers. Now, John, did you have any idea?
Sometimes they say you'll see things or hear things at a baseball game you've never heard before.
Right. Now, with chess, would that be explicable?
No, chess. I've actually thrown the board out of frustration. I say this to Tom Glavine because he used to say, "Never let him see you sweat. Never let him see you sweat."
Look at John's face. Why am I on this? And I'm looking at him like, what? Checkers? Yeah, I know it's not checkers.
All right.
What do you say to Glavine?
All right.
What do you say?
He said, "Don't let him see you sweat it." I said, "We're not playing checkers." This was kind of our running joke. Like, there's a lot of emotion. I'm sorry if jump around or get sweaty or bite your glove or get mad or there's a moment where you snap. It's I don't know. It's my reference to there's emotion into it. But chess,
there's emotion.
Oh yeah, no. I used to get mad playing chess.
So you've never tipped over a checkerboard?
No, checkers is easy. You just double jump or
That's why you have to tune in right from the very beginning. Modell's scoreboard, it's 2-2. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the New York Yankees. As Sean Camp has taken his warm-ups, he's going to face the top of the Yankee order. You make life fun for us, Al. You really do. And there's a strike.
Truth and jest, I see.
There's a strike.
Camp has a little three-quarter delivery. Nice little movement on his fastball. Good sink. .313 for Derek Jeter in his career.
There's that presentation for Greg Gibson, the home plate umpire. Watch Barajas set up away. This is a front door slider that may have got the inside corner. All that matters is Greg Gibson saw it that way. Let's see if this would be a good angle. Oh, yes, that is a strike. Now you say, oh, wow, that's a great pitch. Sean Kemp didn't try to do that on purpose. Obviously, he missed his spot, but it locks up Derek Jeter because he's not anticipating that slider to start at his hip. Very effective if he was actually trying to do it. Worked out for him, but that's not the location that he wanted.
Pitch outside to Hairston.
Just watch him put his foot down. He can't pull the trigger. Derek at that point saying, boy, I hope he's going to call this inside. He did not.
Well, they'll expect some innings out of Camp. His long appearance this year, 4 innings. He threw 44 pitches, which was his season high. But they've got a lot of guys in the bullpen, so I don't think it's a huge concern. 10 men in the bullpen. Rounded to third, Encarnacion. 2 outs.
And with that kind of movement from Camp, you're going to expect some ground balls.
Angels take a 1-0 lead over the Red Sox, bottom of the 4th inning. Red Sox got a little shot in the arm yesterday. Daisuke Matsuzaka came back and pitched very well over 6 innings. Hadn't pitched in 3 months. And all of a sudden, a starting rotation that was really in question. Now they have a legitimate 4th starter.
Is Tozawa still their 5th guy?
Let's see if they have. I guess he's not, because then Wakefield would be there.
I think Buchholz.
Buchholz
is in
Wakefield, there. Yeah. So you've got Lester, Josh Beckett, Buchholz. Paul Byrd is starting tonight. Wakefield.
I thought Wakefield's back acted up again.
Yeah, it has. Well, Paul Byrd is probably the 5th starter until Wakefield gets back. And Teixeira down looking. So Sean Kemp coming in an emergency relief appearance. Retires the Yankees in order with 2 strikeouts. We go to the 4th. It's 2-2 on yes. Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Which former Yankee won American League Manager of the Year in 1985 for the Toronto Blue Jays? I know this one. Lyle Overbay leads off. Driven out to left field. Giving chase is Hairston. On the run, he's going to play it off the wall, and then he falls down. Backing up is Melky Cabrera, and Overbay, for some strange reason, is only at second. He broke it down and said, I'll take a double here. So he is on second with a leadoff double over the head of Jerry Hairston Jr.
Well, Lyle Overbay, one of those guys who has 14 home runs on the year. Kind of thought at some point that total would rise. It has not. Jerry Hairston slips on the warning track. Melky Cabrera hustling it in. Lyle Overbay is going to cruise into second base with a leadoff double.
Yeah, but I think with Melky, well, this would be good to see him running. Going to left field, you have to absolutely make sure, especially with nobody out, that you can get to third base.
Pitch is inside to Encarnacion.
Melky, really, for him to identify after Hairston falls down.
Count 1-1. 2-5-0 Blue Jays, 2-2-0 Yanks. Popped up. Long run for Swisher. Can't make the play.
Good put-away pitch for Chad Godin. Encarnacion, career-wise, always been a very good fastball hitter. I'd like to see Godin, if he was able to take a little bit more off that slider, get more of a slurve break.
Driven out to center field, giving chase is Melky Cabrera. He'll make the play. Tagging is Overbay, and he will move to third. Let's check in with Bob Lorenz back in our Yes Network studios. And we return those sentiments right back at Ernie Harwell. God bless you. He is dealing with an inoperable tumor in his bile duct, and the doctors have advised against surgery. He said, I don't know how long I have, but as long as I'm here, I'm going to live life to the fullest. One of the classiest gentlemen that has ever graced Major League ballpark in any capacity.
I was lucky enough to play 2.5 years for the Detroit Tigers and be around Ernie for those 2.5 years, and you said it perfectly, Michael. What a gentleman.
Always so positive too. Even if, and you mentioned it, John, a gentleman coming over to the opposing team. You always knew of Ernie Harwell and listened to him, whether a visiting player, but come over and talk to everybody. Just so friendly. What a nice man.
Real Southern gentleman, and the only broadcaster in history that was actually traded for a player. Great play by Teixeira, and he fires home as Overbay stays put at third. That's an outstanding play by the Yankee first baseman.
I'm trying to figure out what the best part of this play is. Covering a lot of ground, and then he goes down, slides, makes a great play. But watch the throw. From his knees, a one-hop bullet right to Jose Molina. I mean, a great play just to get it there, but watch how strong the throw is.
But Molina using the chest protector, realize that he's going to get an in-between hop.
Pretty impressive. Pitch to Bautista. 1-0. Just finishing the story about Ernie. He was announcing for the Atlanta Crackers, and the Brooklyn Dodgers wanted to have him come up and do Dodger games. And the owner of the Crackers said, you know what, we really need a catcher. So the Dodgers sent them one of their minor league catchers, and Ernie Harwell came and became the Dodger announcer. But he spent the majority of his career in Detroit as the Tiger announcer. Now it is driven out to center field. Coming on is Melky Cabrera, and he makes the play. So the leadoff double is wasted. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. It's a 2-2 game here on Yes. Blue Jays. I think it's Bobby Cox.
Yes, it is.
That's it. Doesn't make us wait. It is Bobby Cox. 99 and 62 that year. Now there are rumors out of Atlanta that he might not be coming back as the Braves man. He said he still loves it. 68 years old. Been there forever. But he said, I guess I have to talk to management at the end of the year.
So he still wants to manage?
Yeah.
Well, Tony La Russa and Bobby Cox, aren't they career right up there?
In terms of, yeah.
Career wins?
I mean,
neck and
Tony
neck.
La Russa is behind only Connie Mack, I believe. Connie Mack owned the team. So it's hard to get fired. 50 years he was the A's manager. The 0-2. Rounded up the middle and a base hit.
Alex Rodriguez came into this at bat with good numbers off of camp. Mentioned before, with that kind of movement, you're going to expect a lot of ground balls. Alex just drives it right past Marco Scutaro, right back up the middle. A top spin on that ground ball. Another changeup. Hard for a changeup though, but it had good movement down. Kind of a strange, it was like a changeup grip.
Almost a pound ball. Yeah, but there wasn't the full circle change.
A-Rod's now 8 for 17 lifetime against Camp. It was also odd because usually they throw the changeup from up top. It looked like it was 3/4 and his hand was on the side of the ball.
Trying to get through. So, well, if your hand's on the side and you get through it, you get more of a screwball spin, that's what that pitch was.
Nub slowly back to the mound. Camp will get Matsui as A-Rod advances to second.
See, that's his natural arm angle anyway on the play off the mound. He came up and threw 3/4 over to first base, so it's his comfortable arm slot. They create a lot of movement.
If you want to add movement to a pitcher's repertoire, you drop your arm down. That was the same pitch that Alex got the base hit up the middle. Ends up being a kind of a turnover changeup. As John was saying, you can see where a pitcher's natural arm slot is based on how they would throw that ball. Or sometimes pitching coach will put a pitcher out at shortstop, hit him some ground balls, and tell him to throw to first, and that's where he is most comfortable.
Here's Nick Swisher. Crushed one to left field in the first inning, but the wind took it down. And he takes pitch low 1-0. Missed the target, but it was a strike, and the count 1-1. Now, I said that La Russa was behind Connie Mack. In fact, he's behind John McGraw, who's second. Then La Russa, and then Bobby Cox. These are the active leaders. So La Russa has 25-46. Connie Mack is 37-31. I don't know if La Russa's going to hang around that long. Bobby Cox at 24-03. And then Joe Torre, Lou Piniella, and Jim Leyland. Grounded foul.
Talking to Kevin Long about the streak that Nick Swisher's in, and I said, well, what is the difference? He's had a good year all year, but there's been some lulls in the season. And he said he's willing to go the other way. needed to track the ball, and if the ball's thrown away, to hit the ball the opposite field.
Oh, what a play by Hill. He took a base hit and an RBI away from Nick Swisher. That's an outstanding play. We've seen some good defense tonight.
Wow, this is the slider, gets out in front, just a snare play behind him. Aaron Hill gets that ball that's almost in right field or heading toward right field. Watch this play behind him. Great presence of mind, quickly to his feet. That is a fantastic play. Heading out toward right field. Good all-around player. He's had about the 32 home runs in the field as well.
Alex Rodriguez moved to third on that ground ball, so he's there with 2 outs for Cano.
Nick Swisher has crushed 2 balls tonight, 0 for 2, nothing to show for it. Deep fly ball to left field, and that bullet, second base.
And Cano gets plunked. Cano 4 for 7 lifetime against Camp. And he gets hit with a pitch.
Well, after what happened last night, you're going to pay attention to all the hit by pitches tonight, and that was a slider from Camp. Clearly no intent, but with the history of last night's ball game, so he gets him off the right calf. The Yankees got a lot of attention for hitting 2 Blue Jay hitters last night, but Sergio Mitre hit Encarnacion with a changeup. Not intentional. Tonight, Camp throws a slider, not intentional, hits Robinson Cano.
You know, and I think that whole situation that came about was that the Blue Jay hitters as a whole have been hit a lot, but not just the Yankees. A lot of teams that have played them since the end of the month. 15 times since August 26th they've been hit as a team. Second in the American League with Oakland at 7 times. And during that period of time, in the 5 games the Yankees have played them, 8 times the Yankees have hit the Blue Jay hitters. And I agree, John. Yesterday, Mitre was a changeup. You're not going to hit somebody with a changeup.
Right.
And Melanson, in 16 innings, he's hit 4 guys, and that's what he's done.
It's really hard with Melanson, though, because if you look at his minor league numbers, he has good control. But when he comes up here, I don't know if he stresses or gets tight. He does hit batters. The 1-1. Laced into left field. That is caught by Snyder. So the Yankees hit some bullets off Camp here in the 4th, but nothing to show for it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We played 4 here at the stadium. It's a 2-2 game. You're watching Yankees baseball on the Yankee Entertainment and Sports Network. in the 7th, and then, of course, in the WB Mason postgame show with Kimberly Jones. Lexus scoreboard, 2-5-0 Blue Jays, 2-3-0 for the Yankees. As we go to the 5th inning, Chad Godin's still in there. He's throwing 63 pitches. And he'll face Travis Snyder, the number 9 batter in the lineup. It'll be 9-1-2 in the Blue Jay order. And Godin deals. 0-1. If you just joined us, fallout from the brawl yesterday, Jorge Posada was suspended for 3 games, as was pitcher Jesse Carlson of the Blue Jays, and both of them are serving their suspensions now. Shelley Duncan of the Yankees was suspended for 3 games. He's appealing that, so he is active tonight. And undisclosed fines for Kevin Long, Edouard Ramirez, and Rod Barajas. Now, we talked about this on the Open, and I'm sure you've heard the world talking about it today. There's a ground ball at first as Snyder is out. There's 2 ways to look at it. Well, really 3. Posada really didn't show great judgment because Carlson threw behind him, didn't hit him, and threw low, which is all you want. So why did Posada react that way? The second way you could look at it, why was Carlson not behind the catcher on the third base side, since the throw was coming from right field? And that's where the connection was made as Posada was scoring. And the third way to look at it is whether Carlson or Posada are the ones that you blame. The Yankee team showed something they haven't shown in recent years. They showed fire, determination, and they came out and they backed up their teammate, and that's what caused both benches to empty. So you could choose to look at it any of those 3 ways.
Well, my first thought is, I mean, Jorge Posada took a beating today on some of the sports talk radio, and I'm sure, Michael, on your show you probably heard some of this, but for not showing good judgment. I'll tell you what, when you get a fastball thrown at you at 90 miles an hour, you can't predict how you're going to react. And we all know that Jorge Posada has a fire in him. It's what the Yankee fans love about him.
Popped up, shallow center. And Jeter with an over-the-shoulder catch. The wind took that in and allowed Jeter to make the play and not Cabrera.
Well, nothing new for Derek Jeter, going over his shoulder to make this catch. Actually was in cruise control, didn't have a long way to run. Could set his feet a little bit and make the play.
Boy, that ball is really pushing back to the infield there. Almost overran it. Tough play.
There's a strike.
But to finish my point on Jorge Posada, and you know, a lot of fans say, oh, you can't go out there. You got to think about the playoffs. You got to think about your teammates not getting hurt. Not easy to do when you're in the heat of competition. You get a fastball thrown at you. Obviously, you're going to get a little fired up.
There's a ground ball to short, and through the legs of Jeter. A rare error for Jeter, who's had a splendid defensive season. I believe it's his 8th error of the year.
Well, just through the wickets, he said it. Derek Jeter having one of his better, if not best, defensive years, and he knows it. Just pulls up the glove, thinking it's going to be down, and oops, between the legs. Unlike Derek, has been very, very consistent this year.
Here's Adam Lynn, popped up.
Just to dovetail off of John, I agree, and it's yeah, you can look at it in all different ways, and when you don't know how you're going to react in the spontaneity of the moment. And yeah, he didn't get hit. He threw behind him. It's even more of a reason to probably get angry at Carlson, because you know he did it for sure. And yes, it is a livelihood, and they have possible injuries and playoff implications. You know, what ifs, but you can't just all of us, stop that moment and say, I better be careful with how I behave here.
All right, let me stop both of you, though, okay? I can understand the ball's thrown behind him, he gets upset. But he's on second base. Shouldn't it have been done by then?
Well, you know what? The thing is, people are so excited that Jorge Posada started this. Jorge Posada had a few words for Carlson and went to first base. Now, obviously, he scores on the base hit, and you bring up a good point. What is Carlson doing where he was? He should have been backing up on the Blue Jay side of home plate.
Because the throw is coming from right.
Coming from right field.
Right, but you know what, guys? sometimes more than anything else, and I don't believe he was thinking about, let me line up perfectly in line so when Posada comes by, I might have it. I don't believe that. I think he was, you had double down the line, here's a run, and you saw him jog in. He was kind of just not in position. He wasn't doing what a pitcher's supposed to do. I don't believe he stood there purposely in line to see Posada bump him or say something to him. I just don't believe it. I just don't think he did his job.
Soft ground ball to second base. Cano is there, and that's going to do it as Godin has worked through 5. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. The end of 4.5, we're halfway through. Yankees 2 and the Blue Jays 2. Jose Molina will lead off against Sean Camp in his 3rd inning of relief, and there's a strike. Now, just to continue or finish up the point that we were making about last night on the Lexus scoreboard, it's 2-2. Now, John, you're saying that a ball's thrown behind a guy, in the heat of battle, you can't really process, how's this going to affect the team? You don't want to get hurt for the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. But then let me transfer to you, Al. In that World Series when Roger Clemens threw a bat at Mike Piazza and Piazza did not go out to the mound, all I ever heard was, well, Piazza had the presence of mind not to do it because he didn't want to get suspended from a World Series. So what's true and what's not?
Okay, well, you know what? Then if Mike Piazza was able to control that, realize, okay, this is a World Series, I better not do it because our offense, he was able to control that. All I'm saying is that, and I understand, Blue Jays are out of it. There's really no reason for Posada to behave and, provoke anything, just let the sleeping dog lie and all that. But different people react differently, obviously, Michael. And as Piazza reacted the way he did to Roger Clemens, there were a lot of people who thought, go ahead, Mike. He's right over there. Roger Clemens threw the bat at you. Go get him. And I don't think either way. I think if Piazza went out there, everybody said, hey, good for you. You were mad, and oh well, let's take whatever happens.
Well, tell me about Mike Piazza's personality. We know Jorge Posada, how passionate he is. He gets fired up. We saw that last night. Mike Piazza playing against him seemed like a mild-mannered, mellow guy. I think the personality comes into play, too. When you get hit, how do you react?
Yeah, there are a lot of California, Mike played with the Dodgers for a long time, and he was kind of a very you're right, very mellow guy. I just think we could think of it in retrospect and say how it should have played out and how people are supposed to behave. But, people are different, and you react differently. And it's all, bam, it's spontaneous.
Well, let's look at it in parts here. 2 Blue Jays got hit, and I think everybody would agree the Yankees did not hit them on purpose.
Yes.
Melancons had no command, and Sergio Mitre hit a guy with a changeup. I mean, that's not a wise way to hit a guy. But, that being said, 2 Blue Jays got hit. 8 have been hit by the Yankees so far this year. Did Carlson have the right to throw behind
He did.
Posada?
He did. But I think Al said it perfectly in the last segment. Jorge Posada knew 100% without a doubt he was trying to hit him.
Right.
Sometimes when you get hit, you don't even know if it's on purpose, so it's not a big deal. But a fastball going a couple of feet behind you, the thought right away is he did that on purpose, and then you get excited, you get a little fired up.
All right, now the second part. Let's take a look at Carlson backing up. Here's Posada. The ball goes behind him. So now he has words for Carlson, and Carlson said throughout the at-bat, every foul ball, Jorge kept looking at him. Now here's a base hit to right. Is Carlson in the wrong place?
Yes, he's supposed to be busting it behind the third base side. And it's just my opinion. I didn't ask Carlson. I just think he was more snoozing and more upset that Gardner hit a double down the line than him busting behind home plate.
In a strange way, if he did what he's supposed to do, Al, and back up where he's supposed to be backing up, this never happens.
Yep.
They're not even close to each other.
And one thing I took exception to, and it was portrayed this way, that Jorge Posada threw an elbow. I mean, really, he ran by him, and it was like a nudge. If he threw an elbow, he'd hit him in the head, or he'd really throw out his arm. I mean, he didn't throw an elbow. I mean, watch what he did here. That's not throwing an elbow. I mean, please.
It's a little something, a little
Yeah,
annoying,
a little,
just to say, I know you're here and I'm here.
Right. But, I mean, if he wanted to hurt him,
yes,
then he throws an elbow as he runs by. So, I mean, it was portrayed as if the guy fired an elbow at him. And I'm not excusing Posada, because I think everybody, even Joe Girardi, spoke to the team after the game yesterday and said, we don't need this. We're going to the playoffs. I don't need to get anybody hurt. And now Jorge Posada suspended for 3 games.
Well, you know what? Listening to Jorge Posada talk about it after the game, obviously when you can separate yourself from it, he had a little different perspective.
Yeah.
But with what we're talking about, Al and I, when you're out there and you're competing, you don't have that type of perspective.
Well, here's Jorge Posada and what he said after the game.
We ain't trying to hit nobody. You know, the ball got away from Mark, and you know, it's a sinker, and then you know, ball's thrown at me. I was surprised that a ball was thrown at me, to tell the truth. I don't want to keep talking about it. You guys gonna ask about it. I'm not gonna comment. It was really something that shouldn't happen. You know, we got carried away, and you know, hopefully we can end it tonight.
And it looks like that's exactly the case. It is ended tonight. And Carlson and Posada both suspended for 3 games. But should he have been surprised that he got thrown out?
Well, the one thing that Mark Melanson has to figure out how to pitch inside. I mean, he's starting to get a reputation now of hitting guys.
Fly ball right field, and Hairston is retired. A 1-2-3 inning. Sean Camp pitching very well as he retires the Yankees in order. 1-2-3. We played 5 here at the stadium. We go to the 6th inning, and it's all knotted at 2. World and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. It's a 2-2 game as we head to the 6th. Giants play the Cowboys this weekend, and the Jets play the Patriots. Big football weekend. And the Giants will open the Cowboys' new stadium, and they expect over 100,000 people at that game. And that new Cowboy Stadium is almost across the street from the ballpark in Arlington.
Do you have a problem with the Jumbotron in the center?
It's a little too low, and it's been hit by a punt in an exhibition game.
A punt?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were pepper.
Well, but everybody thinks that they can pepper. It's 90 feet above the field, and the NFL rules is that has to be 85 feet above the field. So Jerry Jones said, I did what I'm supposed to do. You get the word on Brian Talent. He left tonight's game with a right foot contusion. The rule that the NFL came out with, rather than forcing the Cowboys to raise the board, and Jerry Jones said that would aesthetically cost him, and also cost him $40 million to raise the board, it would be a do-over if the punt hits the video board. In fact, the video board, which is supposed to be humongous, actually costs more than the old stadium. Believe it. It goes from the 20-yard line to the 20-yard line, which would be 60 yards.
Fordham education.
Ground ball at third, backhanded by A-Rod. He sets and fires, and Teixeira can't come up with the scoop. We'll see how they score that.
You know, it's gotten to the point with Mark Teixeira that anytime an infielder throws a throw over there that's low, you expect him to pick it. See the over-the-top rotation. Mark tries to go for the backhand. Pulled off it a little bit. Couldn't come up with a play. It's shocking when he doesn't. Good, strong throw. And score that a base hit.
And if he'd come up with that, it would have been an out. And there's a strike to Overbay. Count 0-1. Overbay's 1 for 2.
The Yankees and Joe Girardi, Dave Island really going to pay attention to Chad Godin. We've seen in a couple of his starts when he gets to this pitch count, things kind of fall apart. Right up at 81 now, 51 strikes, 30 balls.
I think another element in that, John, is the fact that you flip a lineup over there. Look, a starting pitcher will see the same batter 3-4 times in a game. For the most part, Chad Godin. Although this game, he's had a very effective changeup. That last pitch that Overbay was a changeup. Slider still, we talked about how Dave Island working on trying to get a better, bigger break to it down and away from the righty. I'm going with 6.
Toughest inning, 20 pitches in the second. And you saw Alba Ladeo warming up. Line drive foul.
Many times a pitcher that historically a batting average against goes up as you go further into the game because of the flipping lineup.
Angels lead the Red Sox 3-0. And that's at the top of the 6th. Well, after he gets to pitch number 75, opponent's at 288 against Godin. And he's at 83 right now. And that average is about to go up. Into the corner and up against the wall. Vernon Wells rounds third. They're going to hold him right there. So a double for Overbay, his second double of the night.
Overbay has hit the ball hard all night. A line drive to left field, his first at bat, a double the other way. And here he pulls it down the right field line. Vernon Wells gets a good jump off the bat. He's going to get to third easily, possibly scoring. But Nick Swisher does a nice job of getting it in quickly. It looked like a slider, a little rolling slider down and in. Drilled into the right field corner.
Here's Encarnacion. Held off his foot. The Yankees will give up a run. The infield's back except at first with Teixeira. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Blue Jays are 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight, so Dubin, while allowing 7 hits, has gotten tough in these spots. Andy 0-1. 1-1.
Chad Godin choosing to wind up with nobody on. Normally a pitcher, even though it's second and third, you come from the stretch. We've seen in Major League Baseball with good fast runners at third base that would attempt to steal home.
We saw this year against Andy Pettit. Jacoby Ellsbury did it in the game at Fenway, but it's easier with a left-hander. Now, Derek Jeter's going to talk with Godin. Maybe it's about that, to look over at third. And Vernon Wells now talking with third base coach Nick Laban.
I think right there, Michael, was that the signs will change from the pitcher-catcher depending upon how often a runner's at second base. So Jeter probably had a sequence of signs that he thought were it.
And the 1-2. Just got a piece.
He's throwing some sliders, and they're not very good ones. I mean, he's kind of getting his hand underneath the ball. He saw Encarnacion had a good swing. Chad Godin, you really got to bear down here if you're going to go to that slider. Make sure you're on top. Pound it down and away.
And the 1-2. 2-2.
Good adjustment right there. You don't get the swing and the miss, but you made a nice adjustment with your slider. Better tilt, better location, better spot. Check out the release on top a little bit better with his hand. He gets better action down and away with that slider. Nice block by Molina.
And another block by Molina. The count is full at 3-2. Rod Barajas is on deck. And the 3-2. High pop-up. Cano will make the play on the outfield grass for the first out. Wells stays put.
Big pitch, and Encarnacion not doing the job. Nobody out. Second and third, just trying to get some kind of elevation. Just pulled off a little slider right down the middle.
Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees.
Rod Barajas coming up here. Very aggressive first pitch swinger. He's going to look to do something early in the count. If you're Jose Molina, Chad Godin, you want to pitch him tough the first, second pitch. He's going to be looking for something to hammer. Very aggressive hitter.
First ball, fastball hitter.
Big time. It doesn't mean you can't throw a fastball. You just don't want to throw a cookie in there. You want to have one with good movement, maybe down and in.
Dives out over the plate, along with John saying aggressive hitters generally like that fastball out over. See Barajas kind of walk into that last sinker.
And the 1-1. There's a strike.
Ooh, that was a mistake right there. That cement mixer slider. You see Barajas, he knew he just let that one go. Watch where this ball ends up. That is not a quality pitch for Chad Godin, but he got away with it.
Infield remains back. Runners on second, third. Wells at third, Overbay at second. 2-2 game top of the sixth. 1-2. Grounded to short. That's going to get a run in. As Barajas is out at first, scoring is Wells. Moving to third is Overbay, and the Blue Jays lead 3-2. As you see Joe Girardi and Dave Island deciding, do we let him pitch to Bautista? And they are going to let him pitch to Bautista because now Island will go out and talk.
This might also be, Michael, to get, it's like Marte's starting to warm up, to get another matchup quickly. This would buy a little time. Maybe Joe Girardi saw some sort of matchup numbers that he would have liked to see.
Could bring Marte in for Snyder if they have Bautista intentionally walk. Time for another look at tonight's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question, looking ahead to 2010, what games on next year's preliminary schedule are you most excited about? You've been texting us at 58772. Here are the results. Of course, the series against the Dodgers and Joe Torre, 57% and 25% are excited about the opening and closing ceremonies at Fenway. That one is low to Bautista.
Sure, that conversation from Dave Island. Don't give in. You have 2 outs. You have a couple of bases open. Talked about it earlier. Pitch like it's an 0-2 count right from the beginning. Some sliders on the black of the plate and make them move down and away. Now you're just going to see the intentional walk once you get behind 2-0.
See the lefty-lefty matchup, I imagine here.
So Bautista intentionally walk. And Godin now will turn the ball over. Joe calls on Marte. So the lefty will face Travis Snyder. Snyder against left-handers this year hitting 192. Against righties 233. We'll see if Cito Gaston stays with him. Godin gets a nice hand. Come on back. Bases loaded. The first 18,000 fans, 14 and younger, will receive a Mariano Rivera poster courtesy of Catch-24 Design. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or just call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Well, they're going to stay with Snyder here against the lefty Marte. Runners on first and third with 2 outs. Last night, Snyder went yards twice, and boy, both of them were impressive blasts. That one deep into the second deck, and another one, no doubt about it, also into the second day. Lefty's hitting 158 against Marte in limited time this year, 3 for 19. Righty's hitting 410 for 25. There's a strike. If he's going to get that strike call, he's going to be tough. Last time out, he struggled, and his ERA is somewhat bloated. He has been on the DL for a long time, on for about 3 months. And the 0-1 upstairs.
Yeah, that's a good test for Marte for Joe Girardi to see what he is all about in a close game. There's a difference that you just mentioned, that 150-something batting average. 3-2 game, down by 1, big moment. Obviously, if Marte is going to be used, it's going to be in these roles, especially with the disparity in his right-handed, left-handed batting average against.
Yeah, it's audition time for Marte. You think about postseason roster, postseason matchups. You're right, Joe Girardi wants to see what he can do in this matchup. And we talk all the time, you want to get guys hot at the right time. The end of September into postseason play is what the Yankees are looking for.
And the 1-1. 1-2. So Overbay's on third, Bautista is on first. 2 men out, top of the 6th inning. Blue Jays lead 3-2. Yankees trying to stop it right here. Marte deals. Still 1-2.
Got a piece of Jose Molina, looked like a foul ball right off his glove. Gonna bang up some of those fingers underneath that glove, kind of what happened to Jorge Posada earlier in the year. Don't miss those days.
Well, Marte's first 6 games after returning from a lengthy DL stint, 4 2/3 innings, didn't allow a run. His last appearance, though, a third of an inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and a strikeout. Check that, no strikeouts. Swing and a miss. So a nice comeback from Marte as he strikes out Travis Snyder. But the Blue Jays take the lead. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Lefty, lefty. Snyder goes down. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Fanning Travis Snyder to end the top of the 6th inning. So mark that a K on your scorecard, and for more delicious kind of K, try Green Mountain K-Cups from WB Mason. A perfect cut every time, a fresh cut when you want it. Yankees will need him in the postseason. A lot of lefty batters out there that do damage. You want to be able to neutralize them. Here is Mark Teixeira against Casey Janssen. And there's a strike. So Sean Camp did a good job pitching 3 innings of shutout ball. Red Sox trying to catch up. 3-2 now. Angels lead bottom of the 6th.
See the numbers for Jansen. Coming back from shoulder surgery, missed all of last year. Did a nice job in 07 out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays.
Teixeira down on strikes.
You mentioned about the job, Casey Janssen, high draft pick in 2004 in the 4th round, and you mentioned the shoulder surgery. They really expected a lot from him that year in 07, a 2.35 ERA, 70 games. Pitches like that make him awfully tough to hit. Big curveball, sinker.
Yeah, they had high plans to turn him into a starting pitcher and then blew out his shoulder, had surgery, and missed the whole year, trying to work his way back this year.
And a strike to Alex Rodriguez.
I remember him pitching out of the bullpen. I like that leg drive that he had with his back power leg, almost like a Tom Seaver from back in the day. A little drop and drive, really gets behind the baseball.
Yeah, a little push. Got a starter, kind of. You're right. The starting delivery. A lot of relievers, more of a little bit herky-jerky coming at you, a little bit more muscly.
And the count 2-1.
Boy, often haven't we talk about injuries to pitchers and surgeries and elbow and Tommy John. It's just so prevalent today. Not only at the major level, professional, right on down to high school level.
Grounded to third, Encarnacion. 2 outs.
You bring up the injuries, Al. It's really become a situation. Whoever can stay healthy during the year, they're going to have the best year. Remember, the Red Sox coming out of spring training had too much pitching, right? How are we going to find ways to get innings for everybody? And went through a little stretch that they didn't have enough there for a while.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned this year. Obviously, he's rehabbing, but where would the Yankees be with Chim Hua? 2 years in a row. I mean, here's a guy 19 wins, best starter for the Yankees.
And the pitch to Matsui is a strike from Jansen. And the 0-1. Strike.
Look at this. In the last 10 years, Tommy John surgery up 700%. 700%. From all levels, high school, college, right on up.
Don't you wonder, though, Al, people had to tear their ligaments in the elbow back in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
I guess they just pitched through it.
They did. They did. You're right. Now with the technology, be able to identify it, MRIs, and just the technical aspect of being able to identify the injury. And also, too, I also think that there's some camps that think by putting a stronger ligament in there that guys would actually come back throwing harder.
If you think about it, in the 30s, there was no Tommy John surgery. I mean, there wasn't even Tommy John. And the 2-2. But there's some ghoulish rumors that some high school kids get it so they can throw harder because they think it strengthens the. It's called elective surgery. I'm going to have Tommy John surgery, make me better. I'll sit out a year. I'll be able to throw harder.
Because of the taking a ligament, stronger ligament, usually somewhere in the leg, and they replace the God-given ligament with a bigger, thicker, more stronger ligament. I think it's crazy.
And the 2-2. Now that's one area that didn't give you trouble, right, Al? The elbow?
No. It was all shoulder. Yeah, I just the way my delivery came out. And I had atrophy of the infraspinatus, which was one of the 4 major rotator cuff muscles that just went away. That was my biggest problem of trying to figure out to strengthen the subscapular area to be able to throw a baseball. David Cohn had the same thing. There's pitchers that have little divots in the back.
Strike 3 as Matsui down looking. A lot of Yankees have been striking out 4 in the last 2 innings as the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. We go to the 7th. Jansen spins the baseball around and then delivers, and Matsui looks at a called third strike. 3-2 Blue Jays. Land Rover drive of the game.
Back in the 3rd inning, scoring the first run for the Blue Jays. This was a fastball down the middle, and boy, did Jose Bautista get all this well beyond the center field wall into Monument Park. Land Rover drive of the game, Jose Bautista.
And a new pitcher on the mound for the Yankees, and Brian Bruni. Fastball is outside, 1-0. 3-2, Blue Jays lead. Now against the Orioles, Bruni came into a blowout game. The Yankees were up by 10 and then walked a couple batters. That was a game that Girardi was thrown out of. See Bruni's numbers. And Tony Pena came and took him out with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Went to the bullpen. And at the time, you thought that Pena was looking to punish him. That one is blooped to right. Diving try by Swisher. He can't get it, but backing up nicely is Cano. As Scudero reaches with a double.
Swisher looks like he might be banged up a little bit. Scudero right inside out. Nick Swisher covering a lot of ground. He's going to lay out. He's not able to come up with it. Robinson Cano backing up the play. See the concentration. Just can't cover enough ground.
a bit of a header. Maybe jarred his neck.
Might have knocked the wind out. Really came down hard on his stomach and chest. But Gene Monahan and Joe Girardi are out there. And Gene Monahan waving the smelling salts under Nick's nose. So he's going to stay in. He has been invaluable to the Yankees this year. When Xavier Navy got hurt, there was some question who was going to pick up the slack, and Nick Swisher's done it. He's been great working the count. High on base percentage. He's hit more home runs than people thought he was going to hit. Driven in some big runs. Here's Aaron Hill. Anyway, to finish the story about Bruni, Tony Pena takes him out. Kind of looked bad. 2 outs, 10-run lead. And you wonder if he was sending him a message. You know, you got to throw strikes. But Joe Girardi said later, you know, we didn't want him to throw more than 20 pitches so they could be available a little later on, or for the next game. So that's why we took him out. Now, I don't know if Joe was trying to diffuse what looked like a harsh hook, but that is what Joe Girardi said.
Well, we were doing that game, and it's not a knock on anybody, really. I mean, in that situation, when you're up by 10 runs, and Bruni knows this, any pitcher, you know, at the major level, does it happen? Yes. You guys lose, you know, command, and you just can't find the plate, which is, you know, what happened. He had a 4-pitch walk, and then with the 2-out walk.
That one is looped into center field. It's a base hit. Scudero will stop at third for some reason. He read that very poorly off the bat and just advances to third and doesn't score on the single by Hill.
Yeah, he should pick up Nick Leva, the third base coach, and let Nick decide as to whether he should go or not. He casually went after it. Yes, Melky's got a very good arm. Aaron Hill, good piece of hitting here. Slider off the plate, just flicking the bat out there. Able to get it enough out to center field. Now at that point right there, he's looking back, just assuming that he's not going to make it. It's a no-no. You pick up your third base coach right here, allow him to see it. You don't turn around and see where the play is.
Well, Joe Girardi's going to go to the bullpen, and he's going to bring on Phil Koch to face Adam Lynn. Stay where you are. First and third, nobody out. Geico for a complete recap and analysis of NFL Week 1, including the big wins for the Jets and the Giants. That's tonight after the postgame only on Yes. So Phil Koch comes on to get Adam Lind. First and third, nobody out. Yankees playing for the double play. They're down 3-2, the pitch. Blooped. into left field. Hairston's getting an angle, makes the catch, tagging is Scudero, and the throw comes into second. So Scudero scores on the pop fly, sac fly by Adam Lynn, and it's 4-2 Blue Jays.
Jerry Harrison Jr. thought he had a play at home plate. I mean, a guy who's a utility player, he comes up. Maybe he didn't have a grip. I mean, Scudero is not a burner at third base. You assume there was going to be a play at home. We'll see what kind of grip he gets here. Maybe he doesn't look like he was going to deliver a throw and then just tosses it into second base. Got behind the ball in good shape. Looked like he had a decent enough grip, just chose not to throw.
That was not a very deep fly ball. Here's Vernon Wells. Hey, while we have a chance, the Blue Jays have a guy named Brian Abraham, who is their video and advanced scout. Used to be an All-American catcher at Holy Cross. He's from Worcester, Mass. And he happens to be a Yankee fan. So the Yankees going to have an ally within the Blue Jay clubhouse.
Who know that?
Brian Butterfield told me.
Catcher at Holy Cross.
Yep.
So he's got two things going for him. A fine academic institution, Holy Cross, and obviously a smart guy if he was behind the plate.
Has to be. The 0-2 popped up. Molina makes the play, 2-1.
You ever met a dumb catcher?
Never. Jose Molina, you're taught to get to the fence. Easy play for him. The only question on the wind and which way he was going to carry the baseball.
Phil Hughes warming alongside Abelodeo. Now, you really, truly believe that, John?
No.
Okay.
Okay, good. I was just rattling off a few guys in my mind right there.
So was I. I was up to 5. Wild pitch, advances the runner at second, or to second. I was once talking to a catcher, I'm not going to say who it is, and I asked him, have you ever caught a no-hitter? And he goes, I don't remember. I think that's the one that kind of sticks in the cranium if you caught a no-hitter. There's a strike.
Maybe he was thinking back to like Little League.
The 1-1. But then for all the people that were coming up with Al, I mean, Flaherty can hold his own in any kind of high-level academic conversation. He's very bright on every level.
George Washington.
George Washington University.
Grounded to Jeter. Stays with a tough hop, and that's going to do it. So Coke comes on and does a nice job. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Blue Jays lead 4-2, but we stay right where we are to honor America in the Bronx.
As we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Now please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
From the mountains to the prairies.
Thank you, Bob. And we will hear from Bob again on the WB Mason postgame show along with Kimberly Jones. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning, 4-2. Blue Jays lead, and Nick Swisher against Casey Jansen. The pitch outside, 1-0. So it's 4-2. Yankees going to need a comeback to win this one and end this homestand with a victory. They're down by 2. High fly ball, left field. Snyder. One away. If you look at the top of the 7th inning, John, Koch actually came in and did a good job. I don't really believe that Scudero should have scored on a short fly ball to left, and he would have kept the runner stranded.
Well, he's done a nice job against the Angels on Monday, Phil Koch did. He came in to retire a few batters, and you're right, Jerry Harrison Jr. in left field. Don't really know why he didn't deliver a throw to home plate. Scudero not a burner as a runner. The Yankees playing a little catch-up baseball with the Red Sox taking the lead against the Angels. Start thinking the possibility things could get interesting.
And also the Yankees are wasting opportunities to take a nice lead over the Angels for the best record in the American League as well. Angels lost last night to the Red Sox, and they're trailing again tonight. Pitch outside the Cano. And the 1-0 pitch. Grounded foul.
Well, the indicator when you go through your starters, certainly nothing against Sergio Mitre and what Godin was able to do tonight. I think he did an excellent job. But, you know, you look at your matchups, and A.J. Burnett pitching the next start, certainly with CC Sabathia, what's going to come out of Pettit's start Monday in Anaheim. And there's a certain element to a comfort of knowing that you have a big lead, but yet don't be too complacent as a result of that. And I think there's a fine line that you play with there, because there's no question Joe Girardi, the coaching staff, they can get guys that are nicked up, banged up a little bit, extra rest that they normally wouldn't. But still to identify that there is a sense of urgency, because it's not an insurmountable deficit for any team being 6.5 back as the Red Sox are. And as you mentioned, Michael, you want the best record in the league. American League's going to have the home field advantage for the World Series. You want it throughout.
That one is laced to left field. It's a base hit. It'll go into the corner. Digging it out of the corner is Snyder, and Cano picks up a 1-out double. Well, tonight and throughout the Yankees season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the 3 of us here in the booth for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Sean Camp, number 2, Jose Bautista, number 3, Vernon Wells, and number 4, Mark Teixeira, who has a double, an RBI, and a great play in the field. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here's Melky Cabrera. And a strike.
Yankees with only 4 hits on the night. Robinson Cano picking that one up. And only 2 runs. They scored the 2 runs in the first inning. Been very quiet in the middle of this ballgame. Jeremy Accardo getting loose in the Blue Jay bullpen.
Getting very chilly here at the stadium. One of the coldest games the Yankees have played since April. First pitch temperature when the sun was still out was about 65 degrees. It feels decidedly colder right now with a stiff breeze blowing in from left.
Has that paint fastball away on the outside corner of the lefties. Jeremy Accardo, the right-hander. Scott Downs, the left-hander in the Blue Jay bullpen.
You know, Al, watching Greg Gibson, the home plate umpire, it seems like he's a pitcher's umpire pretty much tonight. If there's a borderline pitch, he's been giving it to the pitcher.
Chopped toward third. Oh, pretty good play by Encarnacion, but then it's all his glove. It's going to be a base hit for Cabrera. He ranged far to his glove side. Almost had it. Looked like he did, but it went off the end of the glove.
Similar play that he was able to make earlier on in the game. This ball just banged in the bunting circle. Encarnacion not being able to get the glove down low enough. I wonder, had Scudero been able to come up with that, would he have gotten Melky?
Well, that's a tough E5. That would not have been an easy play even if he caught the ball. So that's going to do it for Jansen. And they're going to call on Jeremy Accardo. Yankees have runners on first and second, so the tying runs are on base. Coming up, Johnny Damon will pinch hit for Molina. Seattle complete coverage starts at 9:30 with a Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Ken Singleton and David Cohn have the call. Yankees and the Mariners. It all starts Friday night at 9:30 only on Yes. And the Yankees will see Ichiro Suzuki, who on Sunday picked up, appropriately enough, an infield single for his 200th hit. 9 straight years of 200 or more hits, and that is a major league record. He has been amazing since coming over from Japan. 9 big league seasons, 2,007 hits, 262 hits in 04, single season big league record, and a career batting average of .333. So do not miss that series. Get a chance to see Ichiro Suzuki in 3 straight games. Johnny Damon is going to pinch hit for Jose Molina against Jeremy Accardo.
Cito Gaston playing the percentages. Johnny Damon 0 for 11 in his career against Accardo. See the numbers for the year, 24 and 76.
Damon has not had success as a pinch hitter. 9 for 52, 173 with 1 home run.
Unusual split for Accardo. Left-handers are batting 138. Right-handers 378. He's got that nasty split finger forkball type changeup that goes down away from the lefty.
A lot of walks for Accardo, 13 in 19 innings. Count 2-1. Now, so they pinch it for Molina. That'll bring in Cervelli as the catcher for the final 2 innings. And the Yankees only have 2 catchers tonight because Jorge Posada serving the first game of his 3-game suspension. A 2-1. Grounded foul.
That was a pitch Johnny Damon wanted to hit there. He got a fastball. Now he's got to start thinking about that split finger pitch that Al was talking about. That was pretty much right down the middle. Down. See a little look of frustration from Johnny Damon. Out of pitch to hit.
Phil Hughes ready. He's going to pitch the 8th inning. Off-speed pitch froze Damon and struck him out.
That is nasty right there. Johnny As John said, the pitch before was the pitch that he would realize that, boy, I wish I kept that fair. Fastball gets behind, Arcardo does. Johnny's in a good count right here. Just paints the sinker down and away. Now this is the pitch in which he had it. Down and in, and then look at this split. Split changeup. Looks like it's about letter high. Ends up being thigh high. Tough pitch.
So Johnny now 9 for 53 as a pinch hitter. Guys that play all the time, they don't make the best pinch hitters. Very tough to make that transition. Here's Derek Jeter. Derek 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
4 for 7 off of Arcardo. So obviously picks up the ball good off the right-hander.
Now this Jeter foul tipped that ball, so it's a strike.
Not much of an argument from Derek Jeter. A little half-check swing.
The umpire could hear the tick. A 1-2. Check that. The 0-1. Now it's 0-2. Cervelli getting ready to come in. Yankees have the day off tomorrow before they start that series against Seattle. And the 0-2 pitch just missed outside. 1-2. Bright light blue glove belonging to Jeremy Arcardo. Yanks are 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position so far tonight. Cito Gaston looking for a sweep with his 2-game set. Joe Girardi wants a split. Lost yesterday. Cano at second, and Melky Cabrera's at first. Still 2-2.
An emergency hack like that from Derek Jeter just puts in my mind as a pitcher, he's allowing the ball to track so long that he's mindful of that nasty pitch that Arcardo has, and the split finger, the previous pitch was a split finger change that he took for a ball.
And the 2-2. Foul ball, just kicked back. Roy Halladay got the win yesterday, really grinded it out. Didn't have his best game at all. Picked up his 15th victory.
Yeah, Halladay, known for his complete game 7 this year, went 6 innings, gave up 11 hits, but was able to make pitches when he had to.
Tough situation for Barajas, the catcher. You've thrown 2 fastballs pretty much right by Derek Jeter. You've jammed him. Ricardo's best pitch, a split finger. What do you do? Went with the split finger. It was a good pitch down and away, and Derek just fouled it off a little bit. Not getting his quality swing yet.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Angels coming back 5-4 now as Jeter fouls it back.
This is what makes Derek Jeter so tough as a pitcher facing him. Tough with 2 outs, runners in scoring position, but mostly allows the ball to track deep in the zone. And you see him shaking his head. This guy's got nasty stuff. A lot of movement, good velocity.
Got to be frustrating for a pitcher. He's thrown 4 quality pitches in a row, and Derek Jeter has spoiled them all.
2 outs and runners in scoring position in his career. Jeter hitting .315. He's a .317 lifetime hitter. And he's worked the count full. So that's going to give the Yankees an advantage as the runners will be going on the pitch. The Angels have now taken a 6-5 lead over the Boston Red Sox in the top of the 7th inning. So they come back from down 5-3. Runners go. And Jeter worked the walk. Good at bat for Derek Jeter.
Great at bat, Michael. 10-pitch at bat. Just fighting it off. You get a little slider down away from ball. Fastball, middle of the plate. Off the plate. He's seeing the ball well. It stayed away the whole at bat, Ricardo. Either the fastball away or the little split. Tried to come in here. Well, that ball was in. Barely keeping it foul, and then like a little bit of just a half swing. That was a good cut there, even though he was late. But he was able to see the ball as long as he could, and anytime he's doing that, he's going to get either a pitch to hit hard or draw a walk. Great at bat.
Greg Gibson's going to break this mound conference up. Brad Arnsberg, the pitching coach, out on the mound. At the last out of this game with the Blue Jays, stick around for the Emmy-winning WB Mason post game. Bob Lorenz brings you all the highlights from this game and the rest of baseball. Plus, Kimberly Jones will have the final say from the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason post game, and it's only on Yes. Well, Joe Girardi is going to stay with Hairston. And he is 1 for 2 lifetime against Accardo.
First batter that comes to mind, Eric Hinsky on the Yankee bench.
They bring up Hinsky. They could bring in the lefty Downs, and Hinsky's 0 for 3 against Downs. So the wheels turning between Girardi and Gaston. And Accardo misses outside 1-0. We told you when we showed you the stats, they're impressive, but he walks too many people. They got him from the Giants in the deal that sent Shea Hillenbrand out to San Francisco. A couple of years ago. And the 1-0. Foul back. Angels with another run now move ahead of Boston 7-5. So that's a series that if the Yankees win their games, they're gaining on somebody. They're pulling away more from somebody that is chasing them. So if the Angels win, well, the Yankees need to win, so they continue to hold their lead for the best record in the American League. The 1-1. Nice stop by Barajas.
And it was a fastball. The only thing you can do when you're a catcher is try to backhand it. Nice play. You don't have enough time on a fastball to drop down to your knees and block it with your chest protector. Just a reaction play.
Cano at third, Cabrera at second, Jeter at first. Good speed on the bases. 2-1 count on Hairston with 2 outs. There's a strike. 94-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner.
This is where you wonder Jerry Hairston just either wasn't able to pull the trigger because of the little extra giddy up, or he thought maybe it was high. That may have been a pitch that he could have tried to go the other way.
So what is Accardo's put-away pitch here? You know, he wants to do it now and not work the 3-2. And the pitch. Grounded to third. And Encarnacion beats Cabrera to the bag, and Hairston does not pick up the hit. So Accardo flirts with danger but gets out of it. No runs, a hit, 1 error, and the bases are left loaded for the Yankees. It's a foot race between Encarnacion and Cabrera, and Encarnacion wins it. the New York Yankees. Crowd of 46,046 here at the stadium. As we go to the 8th inning, it's 4-2 Blue Jays. A couple of changes for the Yankees. Melky Cabrera moves from center to left. Francisco Cervelli moves in behind the plate. Brett Gardner takes over in center field. And the new pitcher is Phil Hughes. And Encarnacion will lead off. 1-0.
Trying to figure out why Jerry Hairston's out of this game. I mean, this is the type of move you would make if you had the lead late in the ball game, play a little defense.
And if you were taking him out of the game, then why not pinch hit for him? And the reason I thought that he would stay in the game is he's the emergency third catcher with Cervelli now behind the plate. And if you're keeping track of this at home, Gardner is now batting in the number 9 spot, and Cervelli is second in the order.
Well, I think it has to do, I guess you're thinking, what, Hinsky as a pinch hitter? Ricardo's got left-handed batting average. He's actually tougher against left-handers at 138 batting average. Right-handers 378. Maybe that was Girardi's thinking, and not pinch hitting Hairston with Hinsky. Oh, that's not even close. 138 to 378.
Now, one of the reasons he could have done it is essentially an American League version of a double switch, where he didn't want Cervelli, who's not as good a hitter as Gardner, batting in the 9th spot, maybe in the 8th or 9th inning, so he has Gardner batting 9th, and this is the way Cervelli is hitting second. Fly ball right field, Swisher toward the line. One away. That's probably it. The pennant chase is on, and you don't want to miss another inning with Yes Network games on your PCs and laptops. You don't have to. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer who watches Yes, go to YesNetwork.com for more information and sign up for your subscription now. Barajas swings and misses.
Phil Hughes looking for a clean inning here in the 8th. I mean, the last outing against the Angels, he had the bases loaded, nobody out, got a double play and gave up a run to tie the ball game up. But he had to work hard in that inning, looking for a little easier inning here.
Blowing gas.
Last inning against the Angels, he got into trouble. You hated that he gave up a run to tie the ball game, but you loved the way he got out of a big-time jam, getting a double play ground ball when he needed it.
Popped up, right field. 2 away.
And also, too, John, you mentioned, how he bounces back. He's been nearly perfect since going to the bullpen. His numbers are fantastic, and that's another element of your bridge guy getting to Mariano. It's easy to throw it out there when everything's just working and you feel good about what you're doing or previous appearances.
That'll bring up Bautista. He's 1 for 2, a home run in the 3rd inning, and then he was intentionally walked in the 6th. In the middle of those appearances, he also flew out the center. 96-mile-an-hour gas by Phil Hughes.
When you watch Phil Hughes and the body language and the look on his face, the look in his eyes, he's a different person coming out of the bullpen, full of confidence.
Possessed, conviction. You're right, and I think that goes a long way. Hitters sense it, they feel it. You see a guy out there scared or nervous or unsure of himself, not sure about what he wants to throw. Not Phil Hughes.
Oh, nice breaking ball. He doesn't use that much as a reliever. He just throws gas, but that's a great pitch.
We didn't see this pitch against the Angels. He was raring back and firing with the fastball. You don't have to throw it a lot. You just have to show the hitter you'll change speed so you can't time that heater.
Oh, that is nasty. Those last two. 12-6 on the clock. Tight spin.
Two. Travis Snyder on deck. And the 3-2. Strike 3. Impressive inning for Phil Hughes. Paints the outside corner with pure gas. Tailed back over. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 4-2 Blue Jays. Minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Mark Teixeira responsible for your Geico play of the game. Rob Barajas shoots one down the right field line. Great over-the-shoulder catch, but even more impressive, coming to his knees in a strong throw to hold the runner to third base. Your Geico play of the game.
Just like that, Mark Teixeira leads off. Congratulations go out to the Staten Island Yankees, who just won the New York Penn League Championship, beat Mahoning Valley 5-2 in the third game of a best-of-3 series. So the young Yankees pull home the title. So congratulations to them. Scott Downs in there will deal to Teixeira inside. There's the score, 5-2. Yankees over the Scrappers. Ground ball right back to Downs. One away. That bodes well when your A-ball team wins a championship. There are no veterans there, and you see Downs' numbers. Those are the kids that you draft. You send them to Staten Island or to Tampa, and for them to win a championship, that means the future's pretty bright.
There's always, I wouldn't say it's a controversy, but you want to develop talent. You also want to develop a winning attitude. Congratulations to those kids. Most of them right out of college, the pro ball, win a championship, not bad.
You play in the Penn?
I did. I played for Elmira. Beautiful Dunn Field in Elmira, New York.
Hot shot, base hit off the bat of A-Rod. He's 2 for 4.
not trying to do a whole lot. His other single was similar. Stays up. Look at his eyes right down the barrel of the bat. This is a good pitch on the down and away corner from Downs. Just keeps his head on the baseball, doesn't pull off of it. Nice approach from Alex. Pitch down the way. He's right. Boy, that right center field just gets him on track.
Here's Matsui against Downs. And the count 1-0. Matsui an RBI single in the first inning. In fact, the Yankees scoring ended in the first inning as Mariano Rivera gets ready. RBI double by Teixeira, and RBI single by Matsui. And that's it. They've been shut down since then.
Matsui has good numbers against Downs, 7 for 18, 389. Throwing him a couple of fastballs inside, too. A dangerous pitch here at Yankee Stadium with that short porch in right field.
Matsui 10 hits in his last 22 at-bats. Has the average up to 278 now. 24 homers and 83 runs batted in. And in the 7th inning or later, 317 on the year, but since June 30th, 397. That one is drilled deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Tie game. 2-run home run for Matsui. Matsui's 25th home run ties Don Baylor for the most home runs by a Yankee DH and ties the game, more importantly, at 4.
Downs goes with a fastball in the first 3 pitches and elected to go to the slider. The pitch was down middle of the plate, just a pitch that obviously Matsui was able to deposit in the right field seat. Looked like he was a little late on the fastball. Nice piece of hitting. Tying this ball game up.
That's Matsui's 12th home run against left-handed pitching this year. And that makes the most for a left-handed hitter against lefty pitching since Tito hit 12 in 1997. And 25 on the year. There's Swisher against Downs. Hot shot, base hit. So the Yankees awaken from their slumber. One big swing by Matsui, and now Nick Swisher keeps it going.
Well, Nick Swisher not wasting any time. He gets a first pitch fastball, has a reputation of being patient. Late in the ball game, he takes a shot with a first pitch fastball and drills it into left field.
Well, now he's tied with Don Baylor, as we mentioned, most home runs by a DH. In a season, 25.
See Hideki Matsui on the bench, thinking about Nick Swisher at first. Possibility pinch running Freddie Guzman. They've been talking about a kid who has a lot of speed. Come in and try to steal a base in the 8th inning to get a go-ahead run. It doesn't look like it's going to happen.
That one's grounded to Overbay. There's one. That's all they get.
Overbay does a nice job getting the lead runner. Not going to have an opportunity to turn to double play. Just puts a good throw to Scudero to get that lead runner at second base.
And that'll bring up Melky Cabrera.
Several of these Yankee hitters have good batting average against them. Cabrera's another one, 4 for 8, 500 batting average.
Now the trainer comes out.
He's had some foot problems earlier this year.
And that's going to do it for Scott Downs. So with a 1-0 count on Melky, the Blue Jays have to go to the bullpen. Don't know what's wrong with Downs, but walking slowly off the field. Yankees have tied the game at 4, looking for more. Ground ball. Downs hustling over to cover first, makes the stretch, and then you can see either a high hamstring or a groin pull, maybe a cramp, and then on the next pitch he delivers, you can see he's in a little bit of pain, and better to get him out of there than have him suffer an arm injury.
Yeah, it looked like a hamstring problem. You mentioned a cool night. Jason Frazier in the game now. Outstanding numbers, 2.44 ERA, only 15 walks, 51 2/3 innings.
Friday night, catch an all-new Forbes Sports Money presented by Fox Business Network. Look inside the controversial Supreme Court case that could drastically change the sports business landscape, plus the new NFL TV deals and how they affect the league. It's a new Forbes Sports Money Friday at 9 only on Yes. So Melky has a 1-0 count, and he will deal with Jason Frazier. But what the Blue Jays do, Downs goes to Frazier, and the Yankees will try to push the go-ahead run here. Remember, in the 9th inning last night, the Yankees made Brandon League in a blowout game throw 32 pitches, so he might not be available tonight. Joe Girardi talking things over with his bench coach, Tony Pena. And that'll allow Frazier, who is not warming up, to throw as many pitches as he needs. The Yankees are looking for another come-from-behind victory. They already have 47 this year. They have 13 walk-off wins, and they have 10 games where they went ahead in the bottom of the 8th inning, which is what they're trying to do right now. They have 33 come-from-behind wins here at home, so late inning magic is nothing new for this team. And I guess, John, that when you do it, you're convinced you can do it, which in turn kind of makes it easier to do. Not that it's easy, but you do have a belief that you can do it.
Yeah, you have a history that you can go back to with confidence, and you also relax knowing that your bullpen can match up against anybody. That's a big part of a lot of these comeback wins. The guys in the bullpen, Phil Hughes, can throw a lockdown inning, and you got Mariano Rivera.
Well, Michael, I don't think there's a question about it. When the amount of dramatic victories the Yankees have had this year, they absolutely know they can do it.
One more come-from-behind victory. They tie the 1932 Yankees for the most single-season comebacks at home. So Frazier against Cabrera. Melky, a .311 hitter after the 6th inning. And there's a strike. So it's 1-1. Fastball upstairs. Melky chases 1-2. Melky tonight is 0 for 3. 2 ground balls and a fly ball to left. He did reach on an E5 his last time up. And the 1-2. Missed outside, 2-2.
Greg Gibson, the home plate umpire, has been giving that pitch all night. Like Melky Cabrera might have caught a break.
And the pitch. Spoiled it. During the 8th inning in Boston. And the Angels lead that one 7-5 over the Red Sox. Bob Lorenz will have all of the scores and the highlights on the WB Mason postgame show after the final out. Seven games against the Yankees this season. Jason Frazier has a 6.14 ERA. Well, the days they dwindle down after this game, the Yankees have just 6 more regular season games here at the stadium. 3 against the Red Sox and 3 against the Kansas City Royals. And they'll have 9 more games on the road. The 2-2. High fly ball, left field. Snyder is there, and he puts it away. So if the Yankees are going to win this game, it's going to be in walk-off fashion. But they tie it in the 8th. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. They tied it on that swing on a breaking ball. Matsui's 25th homer of the year, a 2-run shot. We head to the 9th inning, knotted at 4. finale with the Blue Jays. You got to stick around for the Emmy-winning WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz will bring you all the highlights from this game and also around the rest of baseball. And then Kimberly Jones has the final say from the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. So we go to the ninth inning, all tied at 4, and Mariano Rivera has made his way in. The famous jog with the glove in the right hand. Enters Sandman playing over the loudspeaker system, and he is ready to roll here in the ninth inning in a tie game. Travis Snyder will start it off, number 9, 9-1-2 in the Blue Jay order. And the pitch, bunted, and it could be a base hit, and it will be. No one expected that from the power-hitting Travis Snyder. Once it got past Rivera, it was trouble.
A great idea from Snyder. You mentioned it, Michael. A couple of home runs last night. The Yanks have been impressed with his power. Squares around and hits a line drive bunt. Once it got past Mariano Rivera, Alex Rodriguez playing deep does not have a play. Using your head right there. A young outfielder coming up. Who's going to have a tough time with the cutter. Nice bunt.
Now let's see if they have Scudero bunt to move Snyder to second. Those are Mariano Rivera's numbers. 52 base runners and 58 2/3 innings. Scudero not bunting and swinging.
Surprising, I would think. Nick Leyva getting the signs from Cito Gaston. As good a year as Scudero's having, I would think a better opportunity with a successful bunt with Travis Snyder at second.
He has 5 sack bunts this year. Count 1-1.
Scudero 2 for 10 off of Mariano Rivera. Had a home run, a game-winning home run when he played for the Oakland A's a few years ago.
Texas falling apart against the A's. A's lead 4-0 top of the ninth. Everybody's looking down at Nick Leyva, or across at Nick Leyva, get the sign. Leyva getting the sign from Cito Gaston. And the count 1-2.
Big healthy cuts from Scudero, almost looking as though he wants to drive the ball left field. I see his 2-strike approach if it changes.
Tap slowly back to Rivera. There's one. That's all they get. Wasn't a perfect throw to Jeter.
Well, Mariano Rivera is such a good athlete. Surprising to see him make a low throw here. You see Scudero off the end of the bat. Good reactions. Mariano throws it a little low to Derek Jeter. Snyder going in with a hard slide. Not used to seeing this from Mariano. Such a good athlete. Usually very fundamentally sound. Used to hitting Derek Jeter in the chest. Not there.
Now, not that he needs an excuse, but I wonder if the second base umpire, Darrell Cousins, kind of made him delay his throw because he was cutting across in front of second base and Mo didn't just unleash it right away. Pitch is high. Take a look at it this way.
I think I almost see it. Well, let's see. You know, you make a good point. But he had more time. If obviously he doesn't know what's going on behind him. Scudero is a very good runner. And as Michael said, the second base umpire, Darrell Cousins, was in line.
Count 2-0. Rivera last pitch on Monday against the Angels, so not a long layoff at all. High fly ball. Shallow center. Gardner calls off Cano. 2 outs.
Aside from the usual cutter that Mariano has done so often in his career, he also has developed and very effective a two-seam or straight fastball that comes in on the righties, as he just did there with Aaron Hill.
Dangerous Adam Lind. He has power, 30 home runs, 101 ribbies. Scudero leads off first. Strike.
The late mover, what's a late cut here? Fantastic.
Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time. So a stolen base for Scudero, and that puts the go-ahead run at scoring position. And with Mo, you always bloop one over the infielder's head. That's always a problem. So that's a big stolen base.
Lots of jump by Scudero, a good one. Cervelli comes out in pretty good shape, a little wide right. Hicks didn't miss by much either.
1-2 count. They set up inside. That was good catching by the youngster. He would not set up too early, John, so that Scudero could pick it up.
Really bouncing around a little bit. You know, there's some pitchers that don't like that. They want you to set up inside, give a good target. Outstanding movement on that cutter there.
And the count 3-2. On deck is Vernon Wells.
Wells has good numbers against Mariano, 353 with a home run.
And a slow ground ball at Cano. He gobbles it up, and that'll do it here in the ninth. No runs ahead, no errors, and 1 man left. Now the question is, who wants pie? A.J. Burnett looking to deliver. them so far this year. Can they get number 14? It's a 4-4 game as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. 13 pies delivered by A.J. Burnett. He's ready to load up with pie number 14. And the Yankees would like to get out of this homestand with a victory. So they've come from behind down 4-2 to tie the game up on Matsui's 8th inning 2-run home run. Now it'll be 9-1-2. Gardner, Jeter, and Cervelli here in the bottom of the 9th. So Gardner will start it off with his first at bat of the night.
Encarnacion playing third base has to play up on the grass, respecting the possibility of a bunt by Brett Gardner.
And Frazier deals. Gardner shows bunt, takes outside.
As fast as Brett Gardner is, Encarnacion can't be in and up. He's about, well, a couple feet on the infield grass. Gardner's that fast.
There's a strike.
Brett likes to put that bunt down the third base line, but you think if he could pull one down the first base line towards Aaron Hill at second base, a lot of room playing back.
And the count 2-1. Yankees want Gardner on, obviously, boom, he could steal second base. And that's the role he's going to be playing in the postseason as well.
Take my chances to the right side. Overbay playing back.
Just have to get it past the pitcher, Frazier. That likely removes the bunt at 2-2.
I think it's all a feel, Michael, for Brett Gardner as to whether he just feels comfortable enough to take the given pitch and lay it down. Not now, obviously.
And the count is full. Jeter awaits on deck. And the 3-2 pitch. Probably swung at ball 4, but fouls it back. Want to take a call third strike, so he's protected.
Yeah, and it had the late move. Definitely ball 4. See, that ball was about a foot outside. Maybe more.
There's a base hit. So the winning run is on for the Yankees. And now let the fun begin. Does Jeter bunt? Does he give Gardner a chance to steal second?
Such an advantage for Brett Gardner when you run the way you do. You know if you get a 3-2 count, they just want to throw a strike. And you assume it's going to be a fastball. He does a nice job of just staying on it, driving it right back up the middle. And you're right, Michael. Now the wheels start turning. Do you turn them loose right away, first or second pitch? You give Derek Jeter the opportunity to lay down a bunt. I say the way Brett Gardner runs, give him a pitch or two to try to steal a base and let Derek swing the bat. Absolutely. Even though Barajas 35%, runners were caught stealing. Gardner has that kind of speed.
Jeter is 0 for 2 with 2 walks and a run scored tonight. He's hit .379 against Toronto this year. One Yankee of note has not gotten a pie, and that's the Yankee captain. Can he get the big hit here if he's driving a run, and would he get hit with a pie?
Why wouldn't he?
There's a strike. Gardner 34 out of 40 career in stolen base attempts.
Derek not happy with that call by home plate umpire Greg Gibson. Looked like it was a little inside. I mentioned earlier, he's been a pitcher's umpire tonight.
Gardner with a good lead off the first. Jeter fouls it away.
Good job by Frazier. did a little slide step, quick delivery. Brett Gardner couldn't get him time. Real slide step, quick delivery. Brett Gardner caught on his heels a little bit.
Base runners off of Frazier's 4 for 6. Caught stealing, stolen bases. 2 caught stealing.
If you're Barajas behind the plate right now, I mean, you're pumped up for this challenge. You know Gardner's going to go at some point. And you said Allie's been throwing pretty good this year, so you want to show it off.
Another foul ball. Frazier keeps pumping in strikes, and Jeter keeps fouling him off.
Yeah, what he did there, Frazier, he quick stepped. Not only the previous pitch, as John said, he had a quick leg kick, meaning his time to home plate was faster. But that time, he came set and quickly went home. Those are all ways to disrupt the runner from getting comfortable in a good lead.
Encarnacion deep at third. Gardner goes. Pitches low. Throw to second. He's in there. So now the winning run is at second base.
Well, he picked the perfect pitch to run on. It was a slider and it was down. Barajas actually does a good job of backhanding it and getting a strong throw off, but Brett Gardner just too fast. Stolen base number 22. I mean, that's a nice play, just to backhand pick and deliver a strong throw. You can't get the speedy Brett Gardner.
Well, let's check the outfielder's arms. Actually, 3 good arms in the outfield. Bautista's showing a gun in right. Vernon Wells, outstanding arm in center. Snyder, a pretty good arm out in left. Gardner's 22nd stolen base of the season. Count is 1-2 on Jeter. Pickoff was on it. Gardner just sneaks back.
Design play before it even happens. See Scudero cutting in. It's usually a daylight play, or a pitcher will give a signal to the shortstop just to keep him close, mostly more than anything else, so that Gardner doesn't get a big secondary lead.
Derek Jeter loving this. Frazier paying attention to the runner at second. Derek might get a mistake pitch here to drive.
The 1-2. Low at Fenway Park. The Angels lead the Red Sox 7-6, but there's a runner at third with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Darren Oliver on the mound. Gardner, the winning run is at second base. 4-4 game, bottom of the 9th inning. And the pitch. Ground ball is short. Scudero over to first, and Gardner moves to third.
Most important thing for Derek Jeter was to get Gardner to third base. And again, the luxury of Brett Gardner and his speed. It didn't have to be too perfect. Routine ground ball to short. Gardner on third. Now, Cervelli hitting. Possibility of a suicide squeeze at some point.
Yankees are kind of landlocked with what to do with Cervelli, and the first time they are somewhat hindered by the suspension of Posada. There are no other catchers on the team. Posada is serving the first game of his 3-game suspension, so Cervelli has to hit. Molina's already been in the game. Infield is in. Outfield way in. And the pitch is blown away. Now the outfield comes in as far as they need, that they think that they could throw out Gardner. So since Gardner's very fast, they are very, very shallow.
Big spot for Cervelli. You know, his adrenaline's got to be pumping. You got to remind yourself the pitcher's in trouble. Try to be as patient as you can be. Make sure you swing at a good pitch.
333 with runners in scoring position this year, 7 RBIs. The 1-0. Foul back.
That was a pitch right there Cervelli would like to have back. That pitch middle high, out over the plate. Nice pitch to be able to get a fly ball out of it. Just a little bit of late. Pulled off of it slightly. Any ball up in the zone is a fly ball, medium fly ball. With Gardner's speed, that's a run score, game win.
Cervelli did such a nice job earlier in the year coming up with the September call-up. Hasn't gotten a lot of playing time. The Yankees have a lot of confidence in his ability.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Number 11, double ones, is at third base. That's Brett Gardner. And the rookie Francisco Cervelli is at the plate. Four game. Good breaking ball on the count, 1-2.
He's just got to fight it off here. This is actually, I think it's a high changeup. Middle of the plate, just Cervelli looking for a fastball. Pitch to elevate, just couldn't pull the trigger. Got to fight it off now. 2-strike approach.
Mark Teixeira's on deck for the Yanks. And the 1-2. There it is. Here comes Gardner. And they've done it again. Another walk-off win. And the rookie Francisco Cervelli gets it done. The Yankees win 5-4.